is here. So it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield. I didn't officially meet Kevin Miller until, I would say, the fall of 2020, sometime around October, November of that year, right after I had moved back home to Arkansas after spending 3 years in Texas. And this was around the time I moved back in March of 2020, right around the time when everybody thought the world was ending because of COVID. And, you know, we're all just trying to figure out our own things to do while social distancing. And that's pretty much what I went back to doing, what I always do. And that is some sort of sports and sports coverage. And at that time, I was very, very green, still fairly new, but was very green in the business, and really was just trying to form connections, was trying to just get to know coaches, all those different things. And I received a direct message from Kev on, again, it was sometime around October, November of 2020, and it was on Twitter. And it basically just said, hey, you know, I do a lot of sports, and I had heard of him before, just kind of watching some video clips on social media and all those things. And he gave me his number and we hopped on a call. And I'll be honest, I was kind of a little bit confused because I'm like, why is this guy that I don't know? And I really, you know, this is the first time I've ever talked to him in my life. Like, what is it that, why would he want to help me? Like, what business does he have doing that when he's trying to build his own brand and all these different things? And I quickly realized once we got off the call and once I continued to get to know him, that Kev had probably the biggest servant heart of anybody that I've ever met. He's up there with the best of them. And that's just meaning not only in sports, but just being a friend to somebody, whether that was at his job, of course, with his family that he loved so dearly. He was just a servant anywhere that he went. And he was a great encourager to me. And I can't tell you how many times that I felt like I was maybe fed up with this business. We deal with a lot of things and don't get paid very much for it. So I cannot tell you how many times I would give him a call and just really vent. And every single time it was, remember why we do this. And he would remind me, and he was kind of my voice of reason, for lack of a better term. And really, from that point on, we just continued to get stronger and stronger. And we did a lot of things together, also alongside many of the people that are involved in coordinating this event. And after he had put together, he kind of was the leader in putting together the basketball media days that went on last October. And of course, the next thing that we had in mind was football. And unfortunately, he passed away 4 months after the basketball media days, and he didn't get to see this come to fruition. But I have no doubt that Kev is smiling down right now just because of not only this event, but the team camp and just the way that people have honored his memory. Man, it's just been so overwhelming to see people that knew him well, that maybe didn't know him much at all, but just knew the impact that he had on so many different people. And that's the reason why we're gathering here today and also Thursday and Friday, is to do the things that he loved to do in his honor, because at the end of the day, that's really, other than, again, his family and his work, that was right up there with the most important things. Important things to him was bringing coverage and bringing exposure to the state of Arkansas, to our athletes. It didn't matter whether you were the last one off the bench or you were a blue chip 5-star recruit or a NBA lottery draft pick projection in the next few years in basketball. It didn't matter to him. He wanted to help anybody that he could. And I'm so thankful for the friendship that he had, or that I had with him. And just that I had the chance to know him. I only had a chance to know him very closely for about 4.5 years. But hopefully through events like this and things in the future where his name is involved, that will just continue to help his legacy live on and on and on, when those of us that are helping continue that go on are no longer here either. So I want to personally thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I want to thank First Community Bank for their hospitality, for the amazing hosts that they have been to us, and all of our sponsors. We've got some great sponsors that have really stepped up and been a big part of this event. So we thank you so much. And again, thank you to those who are watching and following this and also understanding the reason why we do it. I hope you all enjoy these next 3 days. It's going to be a great honor being able to welcome over 60 teams from across most parts of the state of Arkansas. And hopefully this will just turn into something bigger and bigger each year. Thank you all so much. And I hope you enjoy this event. It's going to be a packed 3-day extravaganza that we are so excited about. Welcome to the inaugural Big Miller Football Media Days. My name is Kyle Sutherland with Natural State Sports. I appreciate all the media that's here right now. Appreciate First Community Bank for their hospitality. And appreciate all of you for joining us, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter X. Again, we are presented by Genesis of Conway and Chris Crane Hyundai, and we've got 65 teams over the next 3 days that we are going to feature and kick off, a little bit of a kickoff to the 2024 season. Try to find out about some of these teams. First off, we've got Coach Anthony Robinson. He's brought Paxton Clegg and KJ Smith with him. Little Rock Central, the winningest program in state history all time, trying to get back on its feet, and a lot of progress. You just look at what they've done with their facilities and just the continued progress that Coach Robinson is doing over there. So I'll go ahead and let him make his opening statement, and we'll get this thing rolling.
How you guys doing today? Just glad to be here. Glad to represent the great state of Arkansas. Glad to represent the great program of Little Rock Central. What's the format here? I'm trying to figure out.
Go ahead and just do your opening statement, and we'll.
Oh, well, this year, man, we've been making strides. I finally got to go through an off season with the guys. They've been working hard all summer. We're excited to get going. We have a benefit game against Jacksonville on the 23rd, and we will be hosting it at our site at Quigley. And then we come back on the 30th and go to Springdale and have our first game. I have here today our quarterback, Paxton Clegg, with us, and we also have KJ Smith, who's our tight end and outside linebackers. We're just excited to be here, and we're excited to get the year started.
Coach, what do you have coming back from last year's team?
Well, we have our entire O-line coming back. We're still young. I don't think we have a senior on our O-line. We have 5 O-linemen who all played last year. We also have our quarterback who played the back half of the season coming back. We have Caleb Fleming, who was injured with a torn ACL, who's going to be a senior this year, who was a standout for Central his sophomore year. We also have Alonzo Montgomery, a senior coming back off an ACL injury, who was also a standout as a sophomore there. So we're looking good on that side. We only have one returning starter on defense. His name is Jalen Robinson. He's a safety. He's coming back. But we have a good group of sophomores and juniors that are stepping up and taking on the reins. D-line, we have a few guys who played a little bit, but they weren't starters last year.
How much different is it this year as opposed to last year, this time around for you and the team?
Well, this year, like I was just talking to the guys on the way over here, we have a better understanding of the team that we have going into the season. Last year, I think we did 1 7-on-7 and 1 team camp. This summer, we were able to get into several of them starting in June and also in July. So going into week 1, we have an idea of what our team is and what the temperament is. And also, we had a rigorous off-season. We did like a boot camp style off-season where we represented the DIME principles: discipline, investment, mental toughness, extra effort, and the guys have bought in. I feel like the team is more my team now, whereas last year I felt like I was handed somebody else's team and had to go fight and play with that guy's team.
How you doing, Coach?
Doing well.
Nigel Wright with COE Films. Just want to ask you a quick question. What's the biggest question you would need to see answered from beginning of camp to the beginning of regular season that will make you feel that you're good where your guys stand at?
Well, what I need to see from the guys is that we're going to compete. What I'm looking for is just the mental toughness to be able to last through rigorous training and finish days of practice. Last year, we struggled in finishing at practice, finishing days of work, and then when we got into the season, we struggled finishing in the second half. We played a couple of games, good first half games. I think Cabot last year was a good first half game. Fort Smith Northside played a good first half game. And then Southwest was a good first half game. And then the second half, we let it get away from us. So what I'm looking for is guys finishing games and competing through four quarters.
And Coach, we know that sports are a mental game, and you look at the multi-million-dollar facility that you guys are getting. It's been a long time coming. I know that many people would believe, and now that they're up to par with some of the other schools that you guys are playing, what does that do for your players' morale to know that they have these to work with?
Well, it's still coming. It's not done yet, but we're still waiting to get in there. The date is August, mid-August, as far as the move-in date. We still don't have 100 yards of turf yet, but the date to end is at the end of July. But what we've been preaching with the kids, our program is about a lot like how the construction has went. We were building the foundation. We were laying the groundwork when they were laying the groundwork. When they started putting up the beams and stuff like that, we felt like we were going upwards. And now that they're putting the finishing touches on it, we feel like we're doing the same thing. The culture on the team is entirely different. And the thing is, I tell them all the time, if I can affect this group of guys and they go out and affect their pods within the school, then we affect the school. And then if we affect the school, we affect the community. And hopefully once we affect the community, we affect the whole state. So we just take it as a symbolism of what we're trying to do over there with our program.
And Paxton and KJ, you guys are obviously here as team leaders. So what are some goals maybe that you two have individually for yourself, but also as you finish up your careers as a Tiger?
I want to be able to compete with my brothers. I want to do our best to win as many games as we can and leave everything I have on the field. So
I want to make sure I'm able to give it my all throughout the season, give my team everything I have, and make sure I lead by example, by the right way.
Coach, you said Paxton came on at the end of last year. Obviously, he's going to be much more comfortable this year. Mm-hmm. Are we going to see a similar type offense you guys ran last year? You said you have an entire offensive line coming back. So what's the offense going to look like this year?
We're still going to be – we're a spread team, RPO offense, up-tempo offense. The thing about it, Paxton, man, last year he showed great handle of the offense. I mean, even in the offseason, if he's not taking snaps, he was on the sideline calling plays. I would let him have it at times, so he has a better command. It's like having a coach on the field. You'll see a lot more H-back, which, like I said, he's our tight end H-back. You'll see more H-back sets than we did last year. We did a lot of 4 wide. But we're going to do the same thing. We're just honing in on our craft. If you're familiar with some of Conway's. I came up under Mark Kelly and Hugh Freeze, so some of the stuff that Conway does is what we do, and then I threw a little bit of what I learned when I was out there in Texas in there as well. So, a lot of outside zone, inside zone principles.
So, Coach Robinson, you look at your schedule. In your first 4 conference games are Bryant, Pulaski Academy, Little Rock Christian, and Conway. Through your first non-conference games, how do you prepare your team for that much of a slate where you have formidable teams like that?
Well, the number one thing for us is to focus on us, right? Not beat ourselves and get better and be clicking on all cylinders with us. We understand that the 7A Central is a gauntlet. I mean, some will refer to the SEC of Arkansas, right? The 7A Central is a tough deal, but we start off the year with Springdale, and our primary focus right now is Springdale. That's what we're focused on.
KJ and then Paxton, Coach was talking about how the program's just different. Year 1, year 2, this time from last year. How have you seen it being a little bit different?
Since I came to the school in January, I seen we start from the bottom, and now we worked our way up throughout the summer and built a bond as a team. Like, for example, we went to Pinnacle Mountain, and we had to, as a team, we had to fight to get to the top. And I feel like that's what we're doing this year, fight to get to the top.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this time last year we were kind of just we were moving as we went. We didn't have much. It was kind of like, yeah, we were just moving as we had to go. We had to pick up things quick. This year we've had more time to break it down, to actually learn the game of football more compared to last year. It's kind of like we were rushing to be ready by the season. But I feel like we've come together better as a team, and yeah, I think we're a lot more prepared and a lot more comfortable in ourselves and in each other to go and win a couple of ball games this year.
Okay, for KJ and Paxton, what have you guys worked on over the summer, and tell us how would it impact your season coming up?
We worked on building trust and like a brotherhood, because you can't go out on the field and not be brothers and be united, and we have to fight for one another. So we built that this offseason. Throughout the boot camp, we had to work together, build a bond.
Yeah, I'm going to tag along to what KJ said. We've worked on our relationships with each other, building a bond with each other. I also feel like us as seniors, we've worked on being better leaders this year than we were last year, trying to help connect the team and not let anyone fall through the loop. And we've worked on getting in better physical shape than we were last year, being able to finish games, finish drives, just finishing in general. So, yeah.
KJ, tell us a little bit about the bond that you have with Paxton. You guys have worked together. Paxton obviously came on, as Coach said, it's pretty strong last year. You guys have done a lot of work this summer. So tell us about that bond that you guys have.
Well, the bond me and Paxton have is like brother bond. It's like he my quarterback, so I'll give him my all. I know he's going to give me his all. And we have a special connection on the field. Like, he makes sure that I know what I'm doing. I make sure he knows what he's doing. And we lead the offense together.
Coach, I wanted to add on to you. You came from Conway, you said, coached under Mark Kelly, incredible offensive mind, but also Coach Fimple, and then you look at the rest of Scott Reed. There's so many great coaches in this conference. Mm-hmm. So how did that really help you coming in? This is now year 2 for you as a head coach. So really just over the past 2 years and then coming in as your first head coaching job, how did going up against guys like that help you?
Well, I mean, I'm a student of the game. I mean, I've been a student of the game since I got out. Keith Fimple was a great guy to work for. One of my first coaches that I worked for was Robert Day. I also worked for Coach Poole at Searcy, and then I worked for a guy named his name was Coach Chris Gilbert out of Texas. He's actually a personal assistant to Steve Sarkisian at UT now. So those guys are guys that I call on daily or weekly just about different things to do to get the guys ready. I just pull on a lot of things that I learned over the years from those guys and just other coaches from going to clinics, and I just try to implement it the best I can. The only way to learn to be a head coach is to be a head coach. You know, anything that I thought I knew coming in, you know, you can throw that out the window. When you get in that seat, it's different, you know. So, you know, I've been learning and growing while at the same time learning and, helping teach these guys and grow these guys. So it's just been a wonderful experience. I think we all in it together. We all have the same type of plight. And then, you know, one of the biggest deals is I'm a Little Rock native. So, you know, coming up, being around Little Rock Central program, I have a first-hand knowledge of what it used to be and what it can be. And so we're just always striving to get back to what it once was.
Just looking at the rich history overall of the program, and I know you look forward, not backwards, but what are maybe some things that you do with your teams just to kind of remind, hey, this is what kind of program we were at one point?
Well, matter of fact, and they didn't know this, but like tomorrow we have Brian Cox and the legendary Bernie Cox coming up there. And if you guys are not familiar, Brian has written a book. And it's about 100 years of Central's history. And so we go through that book, and I pulled the book out because he gave me a copy of it early. And I have guys on my team whose dad played on some of those teams. Matter of fact, I have a Dallas Bledsoe on the team. Fred Bledsoe is his dad. And I go to the book and just point out, hey, look, your dad was an All-American here. Do you know how big that is? Also, you know, Bernie Cox was a huge fan of the 10 and 10 in the bleachers. We brought the 10 and 10 back. You know, that's just a standard of the program, discipline factor, and we've brought it back. And then just paying homage to what it is. So we walk in our weight room every day, and you see those 32. We have flags in there with the state championships on it. It just does something to your spirit. When somebody says, hey, this school has 32, and then you realize you have 44 conference, and then you look up and say 2 national championships. Who else has that? It's a lot to look at. But at the same time, when the kids really buy into that and understand that they're only meeting what other men have met, I think it inspires them.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you as well.
Thank you so much.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation. And check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas. We got the dirt on your infield. Go. All right, up next, we've got the Maumelle Hornets, represented by Coach Brian Maupin, Brian Beats, Drake Lucier, Caden Sherman, and Connor Forte. Coach, if you want to go ahead and give an opening statement.
I just want to thank everybody for being here. Obviously, it's important to us to be here to honor, the legacy of Big Miller and everything he's done for, just kind of helping put kids out and shine a light on all the wonderful young men we have in this state. And so for us, it was really important to make sure we're here and honor that. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't start off with saying how, just honored we are to be able to be here, and just thankful for the work that all of you guys do to help shine a light on these young men. A lot of people don't understand how much hard work and time goes into just those few Friday nights every fall. And, the work you guys do really helps shed a light on that. And helps these kids and these parents have, videos and newspaper clippings and articles that they can look back on for the rest of their lives. And so I just want to start off by thanking everybody here. Big thing for us this year, we're just excited about the year. I think it's kind of been a process since I got over here at Maumelle, and we're really excited about the work that we've put in. The district's done a really good job to come alongside us and provide us with the weight equipment we need, indoor and training facilities that we need to be the team that we can be. We just try to be the fosters of the good grace that we're given and honor God with the way we prepare and play. And I couldn't be more proud of the young men that I got here with me today. It's just a brief, just glimpse of the many young men that we have that are doing the right things in our program. These guys especially have been with me since my first season, and they cut their teeth, and we took our lumps that first year as sophomores, and I think we're better for it. And the growth last year kind of shows the trajectory that we're on, and I'm just really excited, really appreciative for our parent community. I was talking to a mom just this morning about how she can help and bless the team and pray for the staff, and when you have something like that, I think it's really special. And so the beautiful thing about Maumelle is we're our own small community right in the middle of the metro, and so I think that's really unique and really exciting, and I'm just glad that God has entrusted me with the keys to try to drive this thing in the right direction.
And I know one of your biggest things, you and I talked about earlier this summer, you wanted to keep your Maumelle kids within that zone, and you've got a lot of new faces, and the 3 wins to get into the playoffs last year, a lot of high expectations this year, and you guys seem to really be embracing them.
Yeah, it's something we're about. Here's the thing, I want to win, and when I got to Maumelle, the kids wanted to win. I was very successful in my last stop. We did some really good things over there, and when I got to Maumelle, the kids were really hungry for how I can help initiate that process over there. And it's not a Brian Maupin thing. It's about these young men, their will to be successful. Like you said, we went from 3-7 to 7-3. It's nothing to put down in the record books, but we're pretty proud of it. But it's only proud because it's a stepping stone to where we want to be. And we got a lot of talent, and we got a lot of guys doing the right things and working really hard. And so we're extremely excited about what we can accomplish this year. When you put in the work, Friday nights are fun. And so for us, we're just excited that, 10, 11, 12, hopefully 14 times we can go out there and just play the game of football, because no matter who you are, your snaps are limited. And so we try to impart on these guys all the time that just enjoy the game. We work so hard, and you only get to play just a couple games. So go have fun. And when the expectations are high, it's easy to get caught up in that stuff. But for us, we just want to enjoy playing the sport of football.
This question for the players, Drake, Brian, Caden, Connor, you guys have been in the program for a few years now. Tell us how much more comfortable you are with setting and obtaining goals now that you guys have been in the program for a while under Coach Maupin. Going from those first couple of years where the wins were few and far between to where you've now got a lot of wins, and now you're not hoping for wins, but you're expecting wins. Just talk to us about the difference in that. You can go ahead and start down here on the end.
It's just been real different because, he came in, just shifted the culture completely. Got guys that just want to do it, and it's just different in the sense that, I don't know. It's
say it's made a real difference in how we operate now and how we think, because, coming from not having much wins, many wins, and, expecting more wins, we just conduct ourselves way differently than how we used to, and how that's all I can say.
I'm really excited that we have the opportunity to be able to expect wins and not hope for them. It's really hard to lose every game, not every game, but almost every game. And then coming off last year, winning so many, it's just really exciting for what we can do.
Like Drake said, I'm just happy we got the opportunity to earn more wins. We put in a lot of hard work for it. And, yeah.
Coach, let's talk about your offense a little bit. So Andrew Bajork did a great job as a sophomore. Going to play some and then also play some linebacker for you. Levi Warrior, another one that's got a lot of hype and reasonably and rightfully so. But you also got a lot of new receivers. So talk a little bit about your offense and some things that may be a little bit different this year in terms of personnel.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I'm a firm believer that it starts and ends up front, and I think we have one of the best fronts in the whole state. Like I said, these guys have been starting since they were 10th graders. They got a lot of snaps, a lot of games under their belt, and I think for whoever's taking the snaps, that's a real luxury. And if we can protect, then there's no doubt in my mind our receivers can get open. One of the things we were really excited about coming off of yesterday's team camp was just our ability to win one-on-one on the outside. And we are fully confident in no matter who's taking the snap, that it's going to get there, it's going to be delivered well and on time. Both are more athletic than they get credit for, and it's exciting now that we have both of them. We'll be able to use that a little more. Last year, 2 years ago when Weston was our quarterback and Beats was our backup, we were a little limited. So we'd have liked to have ran him more, but, when he went down, we didn't score. And so that was a thought going into this season when we had Andrew and Levi was just a 9th grader is, if something happens to Andrew, we're kind of back to Beats. So we didn't want to do that. So the big thing for us is now that we have both of them, we're able to utilize all of the skills that they bring to the table. I think that both of them have a lot to bring to the table. Defensively, running the football, just kind of being the dynamic playmakers that they are, and not having to. I hate holding kids back. It's why I'm a big believer in everybody playing both ways. Because my thing is I want to utilize all of the talents that God has given these young men to help impact wins. And so it kills me to be limiting Andrew like we did last year just because he was our best option. And so having both of them kind of frees us up to utilize all of their skills. But yeah, out on the edge, I'm very excited, very pleased. That group has put in a lot of work. There is a lot of talent. I don't think you'll find a bigger receiving core in the state than ours, and that's exciting because, wing T, but I played a little quarterback in my day. I knew that when I was throwing it to the bigger guy, there was an advantage. I could just close my eyes and throw it up there and just wait for the band to start playing. And so, I think offensively we've got a lot of exciting things. The backfield is full of guys that can make plays, but really it all starts and ends with these guys up front, and the hard work and just the experience that they bring to the table is exceptional.
Well, let's talk about the defense now. Obviously, you're a defensive-minded. I know you know football all the way around, but you're a defensive-minded guy. That's your background. So talk about. I know you got to add a couple additions to the defensive line. So just overall, talk about that side of the ball.
Yeah, I've been playing college football, brushing up on my offense, so hopefully, I can check that stigma after a couple more Road to Glory seasons. I'm really excited about the defense. Once again, I think it starts up front. Last year I was really pleased with our D-line, but we were almost too aggressive trying to make plays that we got ourselves in some trouble getting upfield. This year, I think we're a lot more disciplined, but the size up front is phenomenal. It's really exciting, and if you've watched football for any amount of time, you know that when you can impose your will up front, you set yourself up for success. And so for me, it starts up there, got both linebackers back, and being able to add Andrew into the fold at linebacker, which I think he's one of the best in the state, is very exciting. And then our secondary is is pretty brand new outside of Jonathan Frost and Caden Brooks. But I think there's a lot of talent and ability, and so they're just going to get better as the year goes on. And so it's a long athletic group, but we just pride ourselves on trying to be as physical as possible. We're extremely fast, and we got some good size up front, so it's an exciting time.
Nigel Wright with COE Films. This is to the players. Players, over the summer, I know you guys had expectations for yourself. What's some of the things you have worked on, and what's some of your expectations for the season?
Some things expectations I got for the season. I expect us to dominate, be disciplined, and move to the ball. Personal goals, I wanted to get faster, better footwork, work on my eyes and hand placement.
Some of my goals, at least personally, are be more fit, be more conditioned, be bigger. And for the season, for our team, I just want us to dominate and be the best O-line in the state, because I know we can be, and win state.
I want us to be the most physical team in the state. I want us to win conference, be state champs. And my personal goals, I got to get bigger. You know, I'm just lacking in size a little bit, but I'm going to get there and also be the most godliest team.
Of that.
My goals for the team were we got to be the most conditioned team in the state because we got a lot of guys. Got a lot of guys that are going to play a lot of football this year, and I think that as a team, we need to be more conditioned, and that's my goal, and then to win state, win the conference, go undefeated, and personally, I wanted to be more conditioned because I felt a lot of times last year I couldn't give it my best because I was too tired.
So, you know, when we talk about motivation, I'm pretty sure there's a game that y'all looking forward to that last year kind of let slip through your hands. What's that team or what's that what's that team on the schedule that you all circled that give you that motivation this year?
Robinson, for sure.
Definitely Robinson. Yeah.
Joe T.
I don't really care about that game personally. So.
I know you were talking about priority number one is winning, and the last 2 years have shown us if you want to win at any substantial level, you got to go through Parkview and 5A. What about that matchup, kind of getting a non-conference schedule game like that, kind of give these guys a view of who the best in this class is? What was kind of interesting to you about scheduling that one this year?
Yeah, for sure. I've known Coach Boulding for a long time. Actually, when I was fresh out of college, I did a semester at North Little Rock, you know, it was a good time to learn a lot, and you know, they do a really good job over there. One of the things that intrigues me about their team and program is, I mean, you've heard it from me, is I felt like they've always played really, really good in the trenches. Obviously, the flashy athletes get the headlines and the stars in recruiting, but if you actually watch the tape and see their recipe for success the past couple of years, it's being able to run the football, being able to stop the run. And if we want to do that at a high level, we're going to have to do that at the highest level. And since they're not in the Central, they're in the South, the only way to get a look at them is non-conference. And so for us, it was kind of a no-brainer. You know, we really don't mind playing anybody in the state. We're excited about it. We welcome the challenge. You know, but really for me, and this is no disrespect to anybody else, I want to be the team that people want to schedule to measure themselves, not measure us off anybody else, because my personal belief is here at Maumelle is we're the only team that can beat us. And if we're doing what we need to do, then we decide or we set the bar for our goals. You know, I tell our kids every single day, it's a very unique situation to be in to where you control your own destiny. And if you execute at a high level, you can win every single game on your schedule. And sadly, that's not everybody's reality. But at Maumelle, that's our reality. And we have to operate like that. We have to take the field and take the practice field, film, everything with that mindset that if we take care of business, nobody can beat us. And that is a true statement at Maumelle. And so we take great pride in that.
All right, Coach, guys, really appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. Hiking, swimming, chasing fireflies, and summer road trips. There's no better way to live your best life than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway.
It's a celebration.
It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like Tucson, Palisade, and the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's Best Warranty and Hyundai Assurance. This lineup is packed with the latest technology and IHS top safety picks. So what are you waiting on? Come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai, Museum Road in Conway.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com. WACC dealer for details.
All right. Up next, we've got the Marion Patriots, represented by Coach Lance Clark, Carter Moore, Cam Garrett, Mitro Lewis, and Charlie Cantrell. Coach, you want to go ahead and give an opening statement?
Yeah, just appreciate you guys having us down here. You know, it's not all the time that us up there in the Delta get to come down here to Little Rock and get exposure like that. So anytime we can bring exposure to our program and all the neat things we're doing, we love that opportunity. So we do appreciate that. And, you know, I know Big Miller was a big part of the state and all that. So we're very excited to be here. I'm excited to have these four guys up here. I could have brought 20 guys, okay, because they all deserve it. But these guys help lead our team. And so I'm excited to hear them talk. You know, if you pay attention to Marion stuff, you hear a lot from me. Okay, so I'm much more interested in hearing these guys talk today. But look, we're excited this year. I'm excited every year, but we're excited this year. We think we have a lot of special things going on. Offense, defense, special teams. We're a holistic program. Okay, we believe in getting out the mud. We're in the Delta. Okay, we don't expect things to be handed to us. All right, we want to go earn it every day. That's the mindset that we go attack with. Okay, and the kids know that you have to embrace the hard work, embrace the chaos, because that's what champions do. If we're not teaching our kids to try to succeed and to win, then what are we teaching them about what life means? And our job and our kids' job is to go out there and go for it every day, and that's what these guys do. So glad to be here, answer any questions, excited to hear what these guys got to say, and just give you guys a look at, you know, kind of what we got going on up there in Northeast Arkansas.
And you look at the 6A East over just the past, you know, half decade or so, you guys, El Dorado's been in there, obviously Benton, West Memphis, but you had Harding Academy, Juggernaut that's coming up from 3 and then 4A. You got Coach Kelly at Sheridan now, so there's some new additions to the conference.
Well, conference is really good. So Harding Academy, thankfully, is in 5A.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm already messing up.
But we played them in the non-conference. One thing we wanted to do, you know, the 6A East has had 10 conference teams inexplicably. For the last 2 years. So we've only had one non-conference game, which has been win. And they play a style of football that doesn't necessarily prepare us for the future, but is a huge rival and a huge game for us, and it's the one we're focused on right now. But 6A East is deeper. It's 8 teams, and you have to show up every week. You know, Sylvan Hills, you know, they have some new players in. They had a young team. They're going to be very talented. They had a good 7-on-7 circuit, so they're expecting to be a lot better. Sheridan, look, everybody says, well, you know, it's Sheridan. How long will it take Coach Kelly? Here's what I know. I spent my first 3 years at Little Rock Christian in this state and had to see that guy 6 times. And all he's ever done is go to state championships and win them since I've been here. And so he's a talented coach. Sheridan has a great baseball program. Sheridan has a great track program. There's no reason their football program won't be far behind, and he's a good guy for it. So I expect a dogfight in that one. West Memphis is always a dogfight for us. Extremely talented. El Dorado, Chris Hill has won a lot of football games at a lot of places, right? That's an extremely talented place. So our conference, Jonesboro, last time they were in the 6A East, they just won the conference. And so Jonesboro is incredibly talented, probably the most talented team on our side. And right now, Benton's the standard in our conference. And Catholic has been a thorn in our side. It's been very good. And so we respect every team on our schedule. But then, you know, dumb head coach wins scheduled Harding Academy and Conway in the non-conference. But we want to be tested. We want to be exposed. We think we're ready for that step. I don't know if 3 years ago when we played Bryant, when I first got there, we were ready for that. We think we are ready to see where we are. Because ultimately our goal is not to, you know, win the rivalry game, have a nice 7-win season, 8-win season. We've done that every year, been there. We're trying to take the next step, and we're trying to leave a legacy for the people behind us. that whenever my time at Marion's done, the next coach comes in and something is built so special and better than it was before. And when the next senior class comes in, they build off the last one. And so that's what we do as a program. So we scheduled up this year. We're excited.
And I know you graduated dynamic quarterback in Ashton Gray, went to North Texas, and you got a really good number one receiver here with you today that's really kind of blown up, especially over the summer, and got some great skill guys. So just kind of talk about the quarterback position and replacing Ashton.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, last year I got asked a lot of questions about, quarterback position because no one really knew Ashton Gray. I knew Ashton Gray, and I knew he was going to be special. I thought he was the best player in 6A last year. He had 30 rushing touchdowns. He had 1,900 yards rushing. He had more rushing yards than the top running backs in the state. 30 rushing touchdowns. He had 19 passing touchdowns. Ashton Gray was dynamic. He's probably not going to redshirt at North Texas. He's going to probably play right away there at running back. He was a special player, but it wasn't always easy. I wasn't down here when he was a junior, first year starting at quarterback, and everybody saying, man, tell me about this dynamic quarterback you have, right? He earned it, and he earned it in the weight room, which is really where you mentioned Matrell Lewis, and really all four of these guys, they busted it this year. This is our best offseason in the weight room. Matrell's put on 15 pounds. Okay, Charlie's maxes have gone way up in the weight room. Cam Garrett's by far the best offseason. He said in the weight room he's well over 200 pounds now and is faster than ever. Carter Moore's up to 230. They've all gained weight and gotten stronger. And ultimately, Ashton changed his fortunes and then ours last year by what he did January to May, because that's when you win. Everybody wants it in September. Everybody does. There's not going to be anybody comes in here. It's like our team's going to be bad. We're not going to value the physicality run, but you can say all that. But if you ain't doing it in January, it doesn't matter. And so these guys all grinded down in January. But right now we got a guy that's going to be our number one quarterback. Zayden Walker is a junior. He was our backup last year. He got better and better. But he's a young quarterback. I return all my receivers. Okay, so all these receivers are back, and it's their job to elevate the quarterback play. Just like I challenged Ashton last year, it's his job to elevate underclassmen receivers. It's their job to elevate him, but he's going to be there. We believe we have a 3-year starting center. And Charlie Cantrell, nothing matters more to the quarterback. And will the snap be there when it's supposed to be there all the time? Can he have protection? So, replacing Ashton, there's not one replacement for Ashton. I'm not going to, we're not belittling the accolades that he did because he was awesome. But we believe we're a program and that every year we're going to be ready. So it'll be different. Zayden Walker does not run a 4.5 40. He's not going to have 2,000 yards rushing. I can guarantee you that. Okay, but what he provides is something that we're excited about him being a little more balanced than we've been.
Cam, I'm going to direct this to you, but I'd like to hear from all of you guys. Cam, coach just said you put on weight and you're faster, which is a rare commodity to have when you're gaining weight, gaining muscle, and getting faster. But tell us about the bond that you guys have now with your new quarterback, Walker, not only as a receiver, but also, Charlie as a center. You're snapping the ball to a new guy now. Tell us about the bond you guys have formed in the offseason and the summer with your new quarterback and the work you guys have put in.
I mean, we've been doing Zayden since probably we were little kids, probably since like 9th grade, 8th grade. So, I mean, the bond we had really ain't nothing for real. But, like, the off work we had this season is real good. We done had a hell of work in and off the field. So, I mean, yeah, that's where it started. Like Cam was saying, our bond been there, like, from the start. Like, growing up together, like Charlie, we had that bond. So, mainly off season, our work was just staying out the practice and putting in extra work and building that chemistry with our teammates.
I didn't really know Zayden growing up, but I met him about a year or two ago. And at first, I didn't really know nothing about him, but he comes in every day, he works hard, and he's gained a lot of respect from our teammates.
And Charlie, it all starts up front, and obviously there's Carius there, committed to LSU, and kind of just talk about you being there, the staple at center, and just what you guys have up front on the offensive line.
Yeah, me and Carius, we come back from 3-year starters, but we got a lot of young guys, and just communication. If we communicate and we just keep our heads up and we keep running the ball, we're going to be fine.
Let's go to the defensive side of the ball there. I know, Coach, I think every time I've talked to you, we've definitely touched on defense or up front, something like that. We've always talked about line play, so it's something you obviously put a lot of pride in on the defensive side of the ball, so talk about that.
Yeah, so, defensively, I expect us to take a step forward. We should be more athletic than we've been. This is the deepest defense we've had. I got 6 linebackers that we expect to play. I haven't been anywhere. I coached 7A football in Alabama. I've coached at Little Rock Christian. I've coached Marion. I've never had 6 linebackers that can play at a 6A level and a championship level. And we got at least 6 that we can play, led by Carter Moore at Mike, that are all over 200 pounds, can run, can tackle, and have all played for us. So even if we only return 6 starters on defense, we return 14 guys who logged more than 25% of the snaps. And so in big moments, they did that. We end up playing, in the playoffs, we were out there with 3 defensive backs that are all returning because of injuries. They were in the game at the end, the second half there. And so I'm really excited about our defense. Defense is mostly about alignment, assignment, running to the ball, and anticipation. And our guys understand that. Coach Rod Stinson does a really good job with our defense on helping us understand where we need to be. And I brought him in. That was the main thing. I knew Rod's good at simplifying and helping them run to the ball. And that's what we needed to be. And so we struggled last year. We had to make decisions in game planning on, are we going to try to stop the pass or the run? Because we can't do both. We were too small. We were 210 or less up front in almost every spot. That's not true anymore. We are deep in the box, and we think we can play the style of football that we need to play. So if you're playing win, you better stop the run, right? You're playing bent, you got to stop both, right? And so you need the ability to do both things, and we're very versatile this year on defense, so I'm excited about that.
All right, let's wrap it up. Just hear from the players, talk about some of you guys maybe individual goals and some that you have for the team.
Well, me personally, my individual goal is, I know everybody say they want to hang up banners, win state, but that's one of my goals, but I also want to be the #1 receiver in the state.
It's been a long time since Marion's won a conference championship. I think it was a co-conference championship, but the field house is looking pretty bare in the Raptors, so I would like to hang a banner and then win state championship, obviously.
My goal was getting bigger. I was under 200 last year, and reaching up to 230. That was my goal. Just maintaining that weight, getting stronger. Getting faster, most definitely. That's always been a goal. But same with them. I just want to be able to set a milestone and hang a banner up for this team because they my brothers. Love them ever since 7th grade and up. They've been with me by my side.
One of my goals this year is getting a younger receiver corps ready, the upcoming, and being a leader to them and showing the way what they need to do to be ready for it.
All right, Coach, guys, appreciate y'all coming.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas and Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas. We got the dirt on your infield.
So we've got the Hall Bulldogs represented by Coach Daryl Patton, Ivan Armour, Kylan Davis, Savion Slater, and Nate Livingston. Coach, you want to go ahead and give an opening statement?
Sure. Thank you guys for having us to this morning. Thank you for everything you do for high school football. Can you believe high school football is almost here? It smells different. Everything just day's a lot brighter with football here, and so we're excited about the opportunity. Whitehall. This is obviously my first year at Whitehall. Got hired in late December. Started there in the 1st of January. I've been very, very impressed with our kids and community and faculty and administration at Whitehall. It's a very tough, resilient bunch. After everything they went through last year with the passing of Benjamin Reddix at the end of the school year, and then with Ryan Mallett's passing, it was a tough year, a lot of adversity. And this group is very close-knit, tight bond, and they're not afraid of work. Last year they went 4-6. I'm telling you, they could have easily been 8-2. They lost 5 games by less than a touchdown. They were in every game. We didn't get over the hump and find a way to finish games. So that's been the main priority this year, is find a way to finish and find ways to get to the playoffs. I think we've got a very competitive team that can compete with anybody in 5A. University of Parkview's in a class of their own right now, but we're going to definitely our goal is to make the playoffs and make a big push. The four guys I brought today, there are 4 team captains. We've got Ivan Armour, who's a senior receiver. He's been offered by a couple of schools, Division II and Hendricks as well, but he's about 6'2", about 205 pounds. We expect big things from him in the receiving game or in the passing game. We've got Colin Davis. He's our running back, a one back. He's been offered several scholarships as well. He's a young man that when I first met him and watched film, I said, "You're going to be Marshall Falk." He looked at me like, "Who in the heck's Marshall Falk?" So, you can tell how old I am and how young they are, but I said, you can run and catch a ball. We're going to utilize you in the running game and passing game. We've got Savion Slater. He's a defensive end, tight end. He's about 6'5", 210. We could not block him in the spring. Every team camp we've been to, he's been dominant. I think he's got a very, very bright future. You can tell by his frame he can put on a lot of weight. He's been offered by a couple of schools as well. And then senior center guard Nate Livingston. Again, he's been offered by a couple of colleges. He's a 2-year starter. Last year when the season started to slide, it coincided with him breaking his ankle. And so the loss of him really paid a price. So having said that, I'll open it up to questions. Shoot away.
Well, I want to ask the players first, Coach. You talked about just some of the things that this team has endured. No, nothing certainly that teenagers or really anybody should go through. But I want to ask you guys, just what has that done to make you all closer, just the things, the tragedies that has happened in Whitehall?
Well, I guess I could say that Ryan Mallett and Ben they were a positive impact on the community. So when they passed away, the community, the school, everybody came together as one. It was like, I won't say a big funeral, but when somebody passes, especially somebody important, everybody comes together, and that's kind of what the community did and the team did, and it helped us, and it motivated us to do better in the season, and it's helped the team a lot.
To really follow that, they played a big part in our life. Really, they was great role models, good people to look up to. So. When we got the news that we lost them, it hurt it, So it just grew us all together, made us tighter.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, you won a lot of state championships running the spread, and then at Southwest you did that T, kind of flexed on stuff. So obviously complete opposite ends of the spectrum there, but we're going to see more spread with, I know, kind of just talking about what the position these guys are going to play, I would think so, but is that more of what we'll see, kind of what you used to do at Fayetteville and Bryant?
Well, I grew up in the spread, no huddle, up tempo. We want to throw the football. We want to really create mismatches in space. We want to be balanced, and what I mean by balance is, or 50-50 is, we want to be able to run the ball equally as well as we pass it. Take what the defense gives us. But the number one thing in high school football, you can't go out there and recruit and bring in a whole new talent each year. You got to play with what you have, and so that's why we've gone to the dead tee and the flex bone. Different things when we didn't have personnel that could run the spread. At Whitehall, we're very, very fortunate. We've got a lot of skill talent. We've got a young quarterback that'll be a junior that I think can be one of the better quarterbacks in the state by the time he graduates. He reminds me a lot of a young Austin Allen, Brandon Allen. So that's a huge shoes to fill, but he's a worker. He's worked extremely hard this offseason, so he gives us the ability to spread the ball out to some of our playmakers. We've got another young man, Chris Joe, who will be our backside X, who's been offered by some college teams. He's about 6'2", 6'3", 205, runs 4'6", so he gives us a matchup problem. We've got another receiver that's been offered by a couple of D2 schools who's a basketball player, Jacoby Edwards. He's around the 6'2", 6'3" marks. I'm telling you, I've coached 33 years. The set of receivers that I have, they're as pretty as anywhere in the country. I mean, they're 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". They can run. They look good. So we're definitely going to try to spread people out, take what they're giving us, play at a very high tempo, and create some matchup problems.
Guys, to the players, talk to us about your off-season work, right? You guys are all seniors. You're all working with a quarterback. Everybody up there is going to have this close personal bond with this quarterback. So talk to us about your individual goals moving forward this season and how you guys have worked through that this summer.
Let me start with that. Savion, he's more defense, but he wants to play more tight end, so don't give him any fuel for the fire now.
You helping.
Go ahead.
Oh, man, I know we got a young quarterback coming in there, and he pushes us. He work every day. And so, we just trying to make that bond get better with him. And, we always, even if it's a bad play, we tell him, pick it up, we good, next play. Like Coach Pan say, on to the next play. You can't be stuck on the last play because it'll mess you up. So, all season, it's really been a grind for us because, every time we go in the weight room, every time we, in a field room, we take everything serious because we know, last year, like Coach Pan said, that hump, we couldn't get over. We lost by 2 points and stuff like that. But it's just the little things that we can do to make that get better. And it's just the work ethic.
I'll say that Coach Patton came in and he really helped us learn that discipline last year. We played a game against Mills, and I know we quit counting after about 53 penalties that game between both teams, and that really hurt us. We had a lot of guys that like to fight and a lot of guys that like to talk, and Coach Patton's kind of trying to get us to calm down, let the pads talk, because we got a good little talented bunch, and we got a quarterback that he knows what he's doing, and he's very humble. He'll stay in his own shoes, and he'll not blame anybody else. He likes to take the blame on himself, and we got a young offensive line too that hopefully that'll be able to protect him, and we're just grinding every day to try to get better, stronger, faster, and just smarter in general.
Coach, look at the defensive side of the ball. Hunter Vincent, was a staple on that side. He's moved over to the offensive side. So talk a little bit about some of the changes there.
Well, talking about coaches, I've always believed when hiring coaches, which I've had a lot of experience doing over my 33 years. I try to go out and get the best guys, best coaches. I don't care, regardless of position. If you can coach, you can coach. If you can't, you can't. And so with Hunter Vincent, Coach Vincent was our defense coordinator the last 2 years. He wants to be a head coach. I wanted to get him on the offensive side of the ball because they give him a little offense on his resume, but he's also a heck of a coach. So he's coaching receivers. I also had a coach that my number one priority when I got hired was to keep Jason Mitchell. Jason came in last year in a unbelievable tough position after the passing of Coach Mallett, and he helped put that team in a position each and every Friday night to win the ball game. And he comes from a defensive background from his days at Pine Bluff and with Bobby Bolding. And so Jason will be coaching our defense, his defense coordinator, and then Hunter will be coming over on the offensive side of the ball. Cody Forger will be our offensive coordinator. He's a coach that I've coached with at Little Rock Southwest. I knew him when I was at Fayetteville, when he was at Harbor and some other places. He'll come down. He'll bring a little bit of that Gentry flavor, Northwest Arkansas flavor to our offense. I know I see some people smiling. I know you guys know. It creates some excitement there on that side of the ball. But defensively, we're a 4-2-5. We believe in our belief is we're going to put pressure and attack and all that. We've got guys that can play man on the back end. But like I told Jason, if you're playing straight man in this conference, you're in trouble. You better be able to mix it up. And so it's going to be a team that will bend at times, but don't break, but we'll have the capabilities, especially with guys like Savion that can bring pressure and create some opportunities for our team.
Coach, going into camp and coming out of camp, heading into the regular season, what's some of the biggest questions you need to see in order to make you feel good to where your program stands?
Well, I mean, I'm telling you, high school football is different than it was 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Now you have, you've got spring football, you've got team camps, you got 7-on-7s all summer. I know our team inside and out. There's really not any questions about what we can't do or strengths or weaknesses. Now, as most high schools will tell you, we're not very deep. The depth issue really scares me without having to play a lot of guys both ways. So, going into camp, you won't see us. It's not like the old days where you're going to be beating up on each other for 2 weeks. We're going to be trying to execute, get reps, get ready for Sheridan, our first game, which is a huge game for us, and stay healthy. As long as we stay healthy, man, hey, we can show up and play with anybody on any Friday night. If you start having some injuries, now you're going into your backup players, or we're having to play guys both ways, that's a huge concern.
All right, Coach, guys, we appreciate you guys.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for having us.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next, we got the back-to-back 5A defending state champions, Parkview Patriots, represented by Coach Brad Bolding, Cam Settles, Amarian Robinson, Quentin Murphy, and Montario Elston. Coach, go ahead and take it off with your opening statement.
Thanks for having us, guys. This is the first Big Miller football media day that we've had, and being able to do it in this awesome bank here is really cool. I've never been over to this part, so we're excited to be here. These guys have been working really hard all summer and are excited to get this season going. But I tell you, really kind of picking up where we left off from last year, it was an incredible year for us. We've put it behind us here as a team, but it was 14-0. If you count the scrimmage game, we were 15-0, and these guys played unbelievable football, and we were able to benefit from that because a lot of our second group players played the entire second half of, I think it was 12 of the 14 games. So that really has helped us. I mean, we've had team camps all summer, and that kind of stuff is just really being able to do that and do that during the season has really helped us going into this football season. You know, we know that there's a lot of pressure on us from after last year and the last 2 years that the bullseye's on our back, and you know we accept that challenge. These players, you know, week in and week out last year, we challenged them and they stepped up, and glad to have this senior group back. It's an exceptional group, and I'll just go ahead and introduce these guys. We got Cameron Settles. He's a corner and defensive back for us, a corner and a running back for us. And we got a Marion Robinson. Some of you know him as Man. He's all over the field. So he plays safety, receiver, slot, running back, quarterback, plays all those positions, punts for us, had a 39-yard average last year. And then we got Quentin Murphy. We're excited to have him. We lost a really good quarterback last year that went on to UCA, and so to have him come in, we're excited about him, and he's really made a lot of gains in a lot of areas since he's been here. And then last but not least, Montario Elston, which a lot of you know him as Money, and he's one of those guys that when you give him the ball, you never know what's going to happen. It's magical a lot of times. So it's been fun to coach these guys, but I'm going to turn it over to them. And we can start down here with Cameron if you guys.
That's what I was just going to ask. I'll start with you, Coach, then we'll get to the players.
Sure.
So you got these four here all going to play big-time college football, but you also got Jace White, you got Jermaine Penny. I mean, there's so many. You can just keep going. So talk about some of the other big-time performers that you have coming back along with these four.
Yeah. Thank you, Kyle. Jermaine Penny's one of them. He's one of our guys that, you know, he runs a 10-500, so he's really fast. So on special teams, he's been a key player for us, and he's a very good man cover guy at corner. Jace White's another one that came in this year. We're excited about him. He'll be back at safety back there with Marion, and that's a pretty deadly combination back there, I think. He's big, he's fast and strong, and he obviously will be a receiver for us. Let's see here. Let's see. The big thing for us on our question mark for us is our offensive line. You know, I think that's no secret. But, you know, we've got some really good players that have been playing really hard all summer and gotten a whole lot better. Really, really excited about our offensive line. And let's see who else. I don't really have anybody else to really, you know, talk about, but that's a good group of guys that we have. This senior group's a bunch of leaders, and so we're excited about kicking it off. So,
and to the players, I know this might be a question that is kind of hard to get four different answers on, but Coach Bowling talked about embracing that pressure. You come in with the state's longest active win streak of 25 games. So, you know, and everybody obviously is going to have the target on your back as the back-to-back state champion. So just talk about embracing that pressure from you guys' standpoint.
I'll start. I feel like we just take that as field. Parkview ain't really been in this type of position in some years, so it's like we using that as like something to gain ground on. We just excited to play bigger and better competition every day, and we work hard for that. So we ready. We don't take it as like discouragement. We take it as something that we could build and get better off of.
Anybody else?
All right, well, let's talk about your defense. You know, you got your obviously it's been very well documented over the past few years. Your brother's your defensive coordinator, one of the best coaches that's ever coached in Arkansas, in my opinion, and many others. So talk about what he brings. And obviously, you know, brought him on staff, and the results have been great. So what is that like, having not just another head coach on your staff, but just one that's such a great defensive mind like him?
Great question. We worked together at Monticello a long time ago, back in 1994, and we didn't do very well together at that time. We were both, you know, just young, and we clashed. So it's funny now that, you know, we're working together here toward the back end of our career. And, he's brought in, a lot of the things that they did, he's been an AD obviously for a long time. So there's a lot of things that he's helped us with. And, a lot of it I knew already just because we share information with each other, but it's been fun. My parents probably have enjoyed it more than anybody, but I know the players that play on defense really like him and really respect him, and he just does. When you look at what we did defensively last year, it's pretty impressive. I don't have those numbers in front of me, but we held some good football teams to, other than Bryant, but we held some good football teams to some low scores. So it's fun. Let's see how long it lasts. He's getting close to retirement, so hopefully I can hang on to him for a little bit longer.
Coach.
Yes, sir.
This to you. What's some of your expectations you have for your boys coming into camp and coming out of camp?
Okay. So, obviously when you win them and, back-to-back championships, you want to try to get back to there. It's, for lack of a better word, it's almost like a drug. It's for our players. It's, when you get there, it's that journey to get there it's amazing. So, to try to repeat that, man, we've really tried to, reach into some areas that we thought we had some weaknesses in. I'm not really going to go into that, but there's, I think we challenged our players really well in the spring and during the off season, and I think the gains that these guys made and the speed change, I think you'll really see that we are really a fast football team, and they've taken that to another level, so I'm excited to see that.
Obviously, the set of athletes you hold at Parkview is a large pool. How do you plan, with the addition of Murphy coming over from Robinson, how do you plan to use those athletes on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, good question. We've done a good job spreading it around. We got a new offensive coordinator. Clay Benberg's the new head coach at Lone Oak, and he's doing a really good job. But Claude Johnson, he played for my brother at Pine Bluff in the first state championship game. Those of you that were in the media at that time probably remember him. He was a dude. He's young, but he's done a great job. I'm really excited for him. He's done a good job of really picking up where Clay left off with just distributing the ball. That's the big thing with us. And the good thing with the guys, I've never in my career had players like this, but I've never had any players that I have players that have come up to me and said, "Can I get the ball, coach?" I don't get that. I don't get that from these guys. When one of them gets it, they're excited for the other one, which is unusual when you have that many really good players. They all want the ball, and I'm sure deep down inside, they do, but I think we do a really good job of distributing it to them, and then we just kind of play it by hot hand, who's doing better offensively. This is something else, and I don't want to jinx us, but I coach running backs, so I'm really proud of this. But our running backs are really good, and I think we hadn't had a fumble in over 25 games, so that's something I'm really proud of. You can turn the ball over, it can cause some problems for you in a game. So I'm really proud of that fact, offensively as well.
Hey, Coach, Trip Keeter. So y'all have. It was mentioned earlier, you guys have the longest, in-state win streak, but now y'all are going to basically be a part of Friday Night Lights in Melissa, Texas. It's a whole new challenge because, them Texans take football a bit more seriously than we do. Yeah. So how are you guys, facing that challenge, and how are you guys going to basically take it on as it presents itself?
Yeah. So when I was at North Little Rock, we went to Longview. There was 15,000 people. They know they've played them. It's a different atmosphere. It's something that these guys will need to be prepared for. And in that stadium, it's a $35 million stadium, so it's like Allen, Texas. So they'll have, 500 people in the band probably, and 150 cheerleaders and everything else. So it'll be a different type environment. But the one thing I can say about these guys is they're pretty good about not getting caught up in all that. It's about going and performing and doing the best that they can and working together as a group. So it's going to be a challenge for us. We know it. We're going to drive down the same day. We're not going to spend the night. We're driving down and coming back the same day.
Coach, this is a question more for the players, but specifically Quentin. Quentin, you come from a program that's had a lot of success and there's a standard there at Robinson. Now you come over to Parkview to be the starting quarterback here. What are some things that you've worked on and learned within this program that's going to help you move forward with Parkview and get you guys to the next level?
I learned that at Parkview it's a brotherhood. You know, we all come together. We all as one. And we don't look at nobody different. Also, coming to Parkview, I learned that you just got to work, and if you don't put in the work, it's gonna show. So coming to Parkview, it's a wonderful move. I also learned that it's a brotherhood. Actually, you just got to come together as one and get the job done. It's no I in team.
So a quick question for each of you, too, because I know Coach Boulding probably tired of talking. He wants to hear these guys talk. But quick question I want each of you. I know we've talked about goals and different things, but obviously it's got to be difficult coming back-to-back state championships. We got some guys committed to some high-level D1 schools. What are individual goals for each of you guys to continue to just build on what Parkview's been able to do?
I wouldn't say I ain't really got no goals, but I don't want to speak on what I'm doing this season, cause God put me in a position to make the plays and let my teammate make the plays. So we just come together. We know what we got. We're just gonna come together and as a one with a chip on our shoulder.
I just want to show that I'm better every year. I want to show progress. That's the main thing for me, just progress, better each year. So, and then that leads to winning, I feel. When we all getting better and showing progress, we're going to win. And I feel like that's the most important thing.
I'm going to add to it, I think one environment that I've tried to create every place I've been is to have enough good players to where it's a very competitive atmosphere in practice. That's where you're going to get better. It's very, very competitive every single day. And so players get better at practice each day. That's the goal for us. It's never about who we're playing, any of that stuff. It's no disrespect to anybody. It's about how we play and our expectations for each game and each practice. So, Money, you got to add to it?
It's like we're going against the best every day because we got some of the best players in the state, so we be competing at a high level already. And with me playing receiver, and then I play running back too, it's I got man guard me, and then if I'm at outside, I got Cam guard me or Jermaine. So it's I'm going against the best defensive backs in the state every day. So we be competing at a high level, making sure we all good, and trying to win state again, go undefeated.
All right, guys, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you guys for having us. Appreciate it.
Feel free.
Is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. Hiking, swimming, chasing fireflies, and summer road trips. There's no better way to live your best life than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's a celebration. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like Tucson, Palisade, and the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's Best Warranty and Hyundai Assurance. This lineup is packed with the latest technology and IHS top safety picks. So what are you waiting on? Come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai, Museum Road in Conway.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com. WACC dealer for details.
Y'all ready? Love the new threads, by the way.
How you know they was new?
All right. Up next, we got the Bryant Hornets represented by Coach Quad Sanders, JT Allen, Daniel Anderson, Nick Miller, and Myron Thrash. Coach, go ahead with your opening statement.
My name's Quad Sanders, head coach here. I've been at Bryant for this is going on year 7. Last year was my first year as the head coach. I was the defensive coordinator for the first 5. I was fortunate enough to be successful. Today I got with me a few guys here that's been in the program for a while. They've all done great things for us, and just looking forward to
them continuing there and finishing their career on a high note. First one is JT Allen. JT's actually going to be a 3-year starter for us. He ended up getting hurt last year, so we lost some leadership. He got hurt, I believe. He got hurt against Parkview on the last play. Crazy how it works. Just freak accident. But he's back and he's healthy and he's getting ready to go. He's a linebacker for us. Daniel Anderson, he's another 3-year guy for us. Running back, one of many in that room that we've always had. And Daniel actually ended up, last year it was a whirlwind, first of all, of injuries. And he also had a high ankle sprain. He came back late in the season. And so he's back and he's healthy, ready to go. Then we got Nick Miller. Miller's played for 3 years at linebacker. He stayed healthy last year. He's one of the linebackers with great hands. He can run. He can cover. He's physical. He's made tremendous strides in the defense. He stayed healthy for us, and hopefully he can do it for us again this year. And then Myron Thrash. Myron kind of found his way. As you know, if you know anything about Bryant, we've been able to be successful running the football. And so we've always had a whole lot of running backs. And then going into the season, we had James coming back along with Daniel, and Myron was supposed to be the third guy, so to say. In everybody else's eyes, he was supposed to be the third guy. We always knew we had a 3-headed monster anyway. So when Daniel went down, Myron kind of led the way. So he's returning, and together, man, they don't care who gets the ball. They just know if I get it first, you better score, because I'm going to score when I get it, and that's how I like it, you know. And so it's that kind of competitive with those guys, not that I want the ball more than you. And I think that's what makes them a great tandem back there, because they both pushed each other to get better at different things. But yeah, these 4 guys will be able to answer any questions you want. I'm looking forward to the season with those guys. We're very excited and try to go back and get back on the track that we want to be on. About last year, we ended up going to the semis. We lost to Benville with no excuses. We needed to execute better. And I think this team will grow as I grow. It was a lot of things I felt that I could have did better to lead the team in a better direction. Whether it's going to be winning or losing, I just know there are some things that I needed to grow on myself. Just moving forward, I know we'll go as I go. As I grow, we'll continue to grow, and that's what I'm looking forward to, because these guys have been growing with me, and I've been growing with them. It's not like I don't know them. Everybody's in a different role. You know, you can say, well, I mean, he's been there, and so it'll stay the same. That's not how it works. It's not how football works. Just because you stay there don't mean it's going to stay the same. Or when roles change, essentially, I mean, your job changes and everything else changes with it. So we just have to learn how to grow together. And I think we've done a great job this all season. Even dating back to last year, continue to grow throughout the season. I think we've done a good job, and I think we'll do a great job of continuing to grow and learn each other and help each other be successful.
And Coach, let's start on the offensive side of the ball. And you talked about multiple 3-year stars. You got a 3-year starter at that quarterback in Jordan Walker, and then also Carter Ratliff, a big-time receiver for you. So that's just kind of 2 of the names that stick out. Talk about that, how valuable that is to have a 3-year starter, especially at quarterback.
Yeah, you left off a couple of guys too. Another 3-year starters are 2 tackles, Cairo and Matt Burke. So I think, I mean, we've got a lot of experience. That's why I've got to take the blame with whatever happens. You know, I can't say whether we'll win and lose it, but how we win or lose it is going to be directly on me. So with all those 3-year starters coming back and the experience that we got, last year was a whole nother year with experience. Now, we graduated 44 seniors the year before. So a lot of guys didn't start. You know, we had a lot of young guys, a lot of sophomores stepping in to play with those juniors who were returning. And we were trying to get them experience while battling some injury. Well, you can't use that excuse anymore. We used that one last year. So we just got to continue to grow, and it's very valuable having those 3-year guys, because they understand the culture and what it takes, and they've played the hardest competition you can think of. You know, it's hard to find games when you've been successful, so you got to play all the hard opponents. You just saw one of them up here, and then we got to go out of state again. So we're going to play the hardest schedule. We're going to play the hardest people, but that's great, because in doing so, you do gain that experience, and you are ready for everything throughout the season if you can maintain growth and stay healthy. So it's very valuable having those 3-year guys and on both sides of the ball.
Coach, I think it's pretty telling that you bring some linebackers and running backs up here. Just talk to us about running the ball and then stopping the run and how you're going to hang your hat on that.
I think if you're going to be good, that's what you have to do. You have to be able to run the ball and you have to be able to stop the run, and that's where it starts. It's going to start with the front seven on defense and offense for sure, and both group of the guys are included in that front seven. You know, the most physical team first, and then the one who executes the most. You know, you can be physical if you go back and watch it. And then our coach kept hitting on it. You know, he says we scored on them. I say they held us. You know, we scored a lot on everybody, but we only scored 20 on them. To them, that was a high. But that was a physical game, and then they executed better late down the stretch. So to be successful in 7A ball, you have to be fast. You have to be physical. And willing to be physical, and then you have to execute. And I think that's the only way you can win at a high level, whether you're in state or out of state.
And to the players, guys, I guess y'all were probably 6th, 7th grade or so when that run of 5 straight began, and not doing it last year to get 6 straight. What kind of, and you still had a successful season being one of the final 4 teams standing, but just kind of say a few words from each of you about how that has driven you and motivated you throughout the offseason.
First, I'd like to say it was a bit of not too much of a disappointment. I think we had a lot to learn from it. And I think just being able to understand that we can lose is good for our players' mentality, because we weren't a part of that 5-streak team. So most of our players didn't contribute too much to that. And so losing really gave us a lot to learn and a lot for us to progress on to get better at.
I believe it gives us a lot of motivation to win and put Bryant back on the top. We've won. We know how to win. Those losses from last year are just going to motivate us more to put Bryant back on top.
For me, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, for next season, I'm ready to go out there and do what we do.
It definitely put the chips on our shoulder, and like Coach says, it's harder to stay at the top than it is to get there. So we're definitely looking in to do what we can this season and win. It was definitely a learning experience for all of us to realize that we can be beat, and no one is unstoppable.
So, Coach Robinson from Little Rock Central was in here earlier, and he quoted the 7A Central as being the SEC of high school football. With your non-conference schedule going out of state, playing Parkview, and then having the 7A Central gauntlet, how do you prepare your team for arguably one of the hardest schedules in Arkansas high school football?
Well, that starts in practice. You know, you have to practice like you're playing the toughest schedule. You know, every week is different. You know, every team is different. You know, one week you might be facing Cabot, which is 12 personnel, and then you got to go to Conway, and then it's all spread out, and it's fast tempo. But then you come back, and at the beginning of the season, we're playing Benton, who's spread, and then they can slow it down and spread it out, and Parkview can go 12, and they're very, very fast. And then you go out of state, and you never know what you're going to get when you go out of state. You know, it could be a completely different team than you played last year. So you just have to prepare like you're playing a championship game every week. No week, you don't have a bye week. You don't have a bye week. I know people try to look at games and say, well, they should be Central, or they should be. Well, those coaches are working hard too, you know, and I know those guys, and I see the strides that they've made in the last couple of years of being successful, and we treat those games just like we treat any other game, because I'm telling you, if you look at the Southwest game, we played them last year, and I'm like, where are these guys being on film? You know, they were scoring left and right, and we happen to be scoring too, but that's just what we play. In 7A, you better show up to play every freaking week, or you will get embarrassed somewhere along the line. You'll be embarrassed, or you'll look unprepared. It'll look like you're not ready to play. So that's the exciting part, though. That's where coaching comes in, and that's where you get to go home and like, you know what? I got to do something different this week. I get to do something different, and then you challenge the guys with a different game plan every week, and I think they look forward to that. So it's definitely, you can call it the SEC or whatever you want to call it, but it's very, very tough and competitive, and I think that's the only way to have it, though, really.
This question is for the players. For all the coaches that's watching, the college coaches that's watching this stream, and they're looking at you guys, could you tell them what type of player, start from the left to right, could you tell them what type of player they'll be recruiting or what they'll be looking at?
Yes, sir. We'll be able to do that. We got a lot of players on our team, but we pay attention to everybody. Like, it's not a person that goes unnoticed or anything like that.
I just say, for me, it's just like hard work. That's what I'm all about. So, I mean, you get hard work every day.
To me, I think a lot of our players that come here want to be better just for the fact that we're Bryant and we're playing the hardest teams that we can get, because you can't get better without facing adversity. So there's no way to get over that level of getting better if you're not having players like Marion and Nick and JT going against you every day. And we got hard players going against each other, so we're playing the best of the best in the conference every day. And so that's what you really want to get better and make each other have more experience and progress as much as you can.
I just believe we're all hard workers. We grind, put our noses down, and we just fight. In practice, we make each other better. We strive to be the best. We say, well, be the best, because that's who we want to be. We want to be the top dog. We want to be people's toughest opponent. We want to be who they think the best are.
All right, guys. Coach, really appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. Hiking, swimming, chasing fireflies, and summer road trips. There's no better way to live your best life than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway.
It's a celebration.
It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like Tucson, Palisade, and the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's Best Warranty and Hyundai Assurance. This lineup is packed with the latest technology and IHS top safety picks. So what are you waiting on? Come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai, Museum Road in Conway.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com. WACC dealer for details.
All right, up next, we got the Mount Ida Lions represented by head coach Michael White, along with Ben Woodfield and Sean Johnson. Coach, go ahead and take it away with the opening statement.
Okay, we're very thankful to be here today. We're going to talk about, I've been at Mount Ida for, this will be my 27th year. This will be year 17 as head football coach at Mount Ida. I've done just about everything in a school district that you could do, but last year we come out, we have 13 football players, 1 senior, 2 juniors. We knew it was going to be a struggle last year, and it was a struggle. We ended up getting into the playoffs, and I feel like with our conditioning weight program, you know, that's what carries us through to prevent injuries and to make it through a season like that. This year we have 2 returning seniors, Dean Johnson and Ben Woodfield. They'll be our leaders on our team. We did get a couple more guys out that will be seniors that have never played. But, you know, when you're in 2A, one of the smallest playing football schools in the state of Arkansas, you need all you can get. We're going to have a roster of about 19 players this year, and, of course, 10 starters back on both sides of the football. And we're looking for a much better, more productive football season this year. As, you know, maxes in the weight room have went up. We're a big believer in that. That's what carries us through. We're big on in-season lifting, conditioning, and, you know, keeping our bodies healthy. With that said, I have Ben Woodfield here and Dean Johnson. Like I said, they will be the leaders of our team, 2 returning senior starters, both 3-year starters. That was also on the team that went to the state semifinals 2 years ago that got knocked out by Carlisle. And these guys know how to win, they know how to lead, and we're looking for big things from these guys as we are still a young football team. I believe these guys can help bring us along and get us where we need to be at the end of the season.
And Coach, just talking about, you know, playing a bunch of sophomores last year, and just with these 2 being your only seniors, obviously juniors last year, just talk about what they've meant to the program. Like I said, not having a lot of numbers and so young last year.
Well, these guys set the tone for work ethic, showing up to practice. You know, these 2 guys are here every day, and they are the example we want, and they are excellent, more importantly, excellent young men, human beings that represent our school and our community in the way we want it represented, and that's what this is all about. And Dean brings, like I said, 3-year starter. He brings us some great quickness on both offense and defensively. And you know, we play for, you know, last year we had 11 guys going both ways, and it's very, you know, some of these bigger schools don't understand how difficult that is, and they have to learn both the offensive position and defensive position and the techniques on both. So they're learning quite a bit of stuff. But Dean brings us some good speed. He's going to be our starting split end. He can also switch in at running back, slot receiver some. We can move him around about anywhere on offense, and he's going to be our safety on defense. And he can cover, you know, hash to hash very well, and he can lock down when we need him to. Ben Woodfield last year had over 1,000 all-purpose yards as a junior on offense. Be one of our running backs in our split back veer attack, and you know, he's hard-nosed. He'll stick his nose in there, run the football. He'll also play linebacker, and he has great quickness, but he also has that good punch at the end of his runs, and also on defense he will strike you.
And also wanted to ask, too, just talking about not playing with a whole lot of depth on your team, but you got Conway Christian that's going to be really good in the conference. You got the defending state champions in Bigelow. So, you know, just kind of talk about some of the motivating factors when you're playing guys like that.
Yeah, you know, those are familiar opponents for us, actually. Of course, we used to be in the conference with them. We have quite a bit of history with them. Bigelow was an excellent football team last year. They had great numbers, they had great depth, and I expect the same result from them this year. Conway Christian has a lot back. Both those teams, let me say this, in this whole conference to me is a very well coached conference, especially in 2A football. And you have to, you know, I have to be on my A game every week, preparing my players as they need prepared. And, you know, we have to, that has been great. Let me back up. Bigelow knocked us out of the first round of the playoffs this past season. And that did leave a bad taste in our mouth. You know, like I said, we were so young. We we were glad. I ain't saying we were glad to get there. Our goals are much higher than what we had last year, but we know what we're facing. We know what we have to do in preparation to win that game as well as the Conway Christian game. And, you know, we have to go out there in a tough conference, well-coached conference, and do what we do. And our attack is a little different than most attacks, as we run a split back veer as opposed to spread offense. And so I think that might help us advantage-wise in some football games, because you have to be very disciplined to stop it on defense. So that, to me, that's a great equalizer for us going into this conference.
Question for Ben and Dean. As Coach is talking about, you guys have been in the program for several years. He's really leaning on you guys as seniors. You know, going from last year where you barely have enough players to field a team, you lose in the first round of state playoffs. Now you're returning 10 starters. Tell us a little about the different expectations from last year to going into this year.
Well, the main thing is we have backup players this time. So if you're a starter and you're not going full speed, he can take you out and put somebody else in. So you have to go full speed, full effort, every single play, every single down, on offense and defense if you want to keep your spot.
Yes, it just all comes down to depth this year. Not every player will be as too tired as were last year, even if we were up or down. We still had to play the whole game no matter what. And this year we can have people that can come in for us. And it also helps in practice with having a full team on offense and the scout team D this year.
And Coach, we got a lot of coaches that we're going to feature over the next few days that have been at their programs for a long time. And I know, like you had mentioned, you at yours. And I think that it says something, especially being at a small program. You started a small program a lot of times, then you work your way up, but you have remained there. What is it about the town? What is it about the school that's kept you there?
To me, it's one of the greatest communities you could ever coach football in. It's a small town environment. Everybody attends the game. You know, we have great attendance. We have great support from our community. Every Friday night, they do things for our players, but it is a football town. And, you know, as a graduate of Mount Ida High School, I have that much pride in my school, in my town, and I stayed there to make that better. I could have went other places, but, you know, it's a challenge with low numbers, and our numbers have dropped in our school. You know, we play Class A in every other sport but football. And we choose not to go to 8-man because we want the full effect of a football program. You know, we believe in 11-man football, and that's just personal. And but our community really supports us, and it is, to me, one of the greatest places to be and to coach. And I've always had support there, and our kids are always been hard-nosed. You know, I ask a lot out of them, I really do, but our kids do what I ask them to do, conditioning, physicality-wise, and yes or no, sir. And, you know, I've always respected my players for that reason.
And adding to that, I know you've won 2 state championships there as well. So, and I always say, you know, when I ask coaches from the past, you always look forward. But do you take any philosophies or maybe just anything as far as motivating factors for your teams now that, like, just from those seasons that you got that experience?
Well, you know, you have a blueprint for those teams. You know what good football needs to look like in my system, you know. And these guys, they have seen that. They know what it takes to do that. And it's, you know, there's nothing easy in life. And going back to that, the work ethic my kids put in, yeah, we're not going to win every football game. But we give ourselves a chance to win every football game with the work ethic and the dedication of the players. But these guys have seen that. They know what it takes. And they have to fit that blueprint. Now, every team is a little different, of course, but it's all the same. You know, tradition goes a long ways. And, of course, to me, work ethic and dedication to the program. which we have, and which I see, like I said, we're still young, but I see that making a comeback with the, as young as we were last year. But I see a different team coming this year.
So, Coach, like you said, you've been at Mount Ida for 17 years, the head coach there. Have you seen the aspect of football and high school football in general, definitely in smaller classifications, change over that timeline?
It's a great question. Numbers have drastically dropped as far as players playing the game, which led to the introduction of 8-man football, which I have no problem with. But, it's just harder to get players out, I believe, especially at a small school, especially when you start having air-conditioned gyms, no offense. It's a lot easier to go play basketball in an air-conditioned gym than it is to come out there in 100 degrees and go 3.5 hours, with 15 kids. Just to be honest. And but to me, the numbers, just to get kids out to play has been a struggle at a lot of places, and it has been at our place at times. But we have had some very small classes come through as well. But to me, that's the big thing is the numbers.
All right, Coach, guys, we really appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's Best Warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next we got the Lake Hamilton Wolves represented by Coach Tommy Gillerin, David Fallon, Dylan Murphy, Landon West, and Hayden Barton. Coach, go ahead and take it away with the opening statement.
Yeah, so hey, I'm Tommy Gillerin, head coach at Lake Hamilton High School. I've been there, this is starting my 8th year at Lake Hamilton. We went 3-7 and 2-7 in the conference. Started off pretty hot, and then we kind of had some injuries and things go on last year, and ended up not making the playoffs for the first time in a long time. But I thought we played a lot of kids, had 7 sophomores start last year, and because of those 7 sophomores starting, we had an opportunity to play a lot of kids that are going to be starters this year. And so we've had a good summer. Went to some team camps, went to OBU team camp, which is a really good one because there's a lot of good quality opponents there. And went to the Benton 7-on-7 and had a good showing there. And then we had our own, and we lost to a team that actually went on and won the Sonic shootout at Harding. That team won ours, and they went on and won that. So we felt like they're a really good team. We lost to them in the finals, 28-21, and then we had a team camp at our place last week, and felt like our kids really performed really well, and we feel like have a chance to be pretty good this year based on the young kids kind of getting matured up and getting better and better.
And obviously, you talked about the injuries, and Easton Hurley had that injury, had what I would call a miraculous recovery, then went on to have a phenomenal baseball season. But I know Hayden took up a lot of the slack that Justin Crutchmer had left. So, like you said, a young team, just really kind of starting over in a lot of ways. So, just kind of talk about a little bit more offensively and defensively, getting back to that Lake Hamilton way that you guys normally have.
Yeah, no doubt. I got Hayden up here with me, and Hayden had 900 yards rushing. He missed 3 games because of injuries. And so he did, most of his work in 7 games, and so we're expecting a lot out of him. Landon came in, my guy to the right here. He's our quarterback. He came in at the end of the year and played quarterback for us, and I think he's developed into the quarterback I thought he could be. Dylan to my left here, he played halfback the last game of the year, and he kind of had 100-something yards rushing, and we thought that he really developed into the kid we thought he was going to do. Had a great off season, and I think he'll be a kid that have 1,000 yards this year in our offense, and so we feel like he's going to do that. David he played receiver for us last year. We actually moved him he's playing safety this year. We feel like, or bandit, same thing. It's another safety. David's really worked hard this offseason. His brothers are both all-state players that played linebacker for us. And so we feel like David's the same type of player they are. And so he brings a lot of intensity to our defense. And so we feel like these guys here really worked hard to get us where we're going to be this year, and that's why I brought these guys today.
Landon, the wing tees, it's a fun offense to run, and you got some time last year running that. So Coach Giller, he's had some some quarterbacks that are more run heavy, some that are dual threat. So what would you kind of consider yourself? Would you dual threat or more of a?
I would say I'm more of a pocket guy. Okay. I don't really get out of the pocket and run around like a lot of people do. I kind of stay in there and take the hits and try to throw it to my guys.
Yeah, he's really a pocket guy. He does a really good job of seeing the field. This summer he's thrown really well, and he can get downfield. He actually throws the best of one of the best throwers I've had since I've been there, about getting it to people and getting them in space. And so yeah, and he can run a little bit, but he's not a runner. He's more of a thrower. He'll get it to these other guys in the backfield and let them do the running. He'll do all the throwing, but he's done a really good job of that.
What's that one game on y'all schedule that you are looking forward to heading into the season?
Obviously, Lakeside. Come on now.
Lakeside.
Rivalry game.
August 30th.
I mean, this is like the first time we lost last year to them in like 30 years, so it's like circled on our calendar, man.
It's personal now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is. It's always a big game, for especially for them, because they haven't beat us in over 30 years. So I think the last time we lost to them was in '99. That was I wasn't even in school then. So that is a big game for our kids and our community, and I know it is for their community. So we look forward to that one. And I think another one's Greenwood. I mean, if you're going to win a state title, right now it goes to Greenwood, Arkansas. And they lost a lot of kids last year, but they seem to always get a lot more. And so those are 2 games we always circle. Lakeside's the first one, but then the other one, if you're going to win the state title, you got to beat Greenwood. And so those are 2 games I know these guys look forward to.
And looking at your conference, Greenwood, it's a gauntlet. The 6A West is, you lose Little Rock Christian and PA, you add, Fort Smith Southside and Shiloh. So Shiloh Christian comes in, been to 5 consecutive state titles, one in 2020. So like I said, you lose 2 really quality teams, but then you bring in 2 quality teams.
Yeah, no doubt. Southside playing 7A football, moving down to 6A, it'll definitely be a benefit to them because of, they've been playing quality opponents with a lot more kids. They have 140 kids in 7A, where 6A we're probably between 80 and 90 kids, and so they'll have a lot more kids to put on the field. Shiloh Christian, like you said, they're a quality team every year. They're going to just ramp it up there to get ready to 6A. Probably the biggest thing for them is probably depth, because they've been playing smaller classifications, and so the depth will kind of come into that part of the schedule for them, as the season goes.
I'm going to initially direct this question to Landon and Dylan. Coach talked about how you guys came on really at the end of the season, but I want to hear from all four of you guys. Tell us about the work you guys are putting in the off season, being around each other more, and how that's prepared you to attack this new season. And like Hayden, subtly said that you guys are ready for that first game of the season.
Like Coach said, last year we had a lot of sophomores that came in, so we've all been together for a pretty long time now. We've been able to build a really strong bond, and I feel like that's something we didn't have last year. A lot of people we weren't all friends, and we didn't all hang out all the time. But I think coming into this year, we all have a really strong bond, and we all want to win. We all want to do what we want to do this year.
And I say the last few games when me and Dylan got to get in and really get that experience, it helped us for this next year coming up. And I feel like if we didn't get those games, it would be a lot more green and really wouldn't know what to do.
Our seniors last year, they relied on Crutchmer's class their whole time. So I believe when they got to their senior year, they didn't have the leadership qualities. And then our senior year this year, we're trying to implement that more, and our leadership's getting a lot better. We're having a better bond together, having fun at practice.
Yeah, all those sophomores that played last year and the juniors, it's kind of everybody's first year to really get out there and play. So this is the second year we've got some experience under our belt. Now we're going to it's also all of our last year, so it really means something. It's really personal now.
Hayden, I wanted to ask you, like we were saying, you had battled some injuries, but had a great year. So last year you were kind of a secret. I mean, I'm sure that the people around the school knew you were pretty good, but just the state hadn't really seen you. So coming in now, people are a little more familiar with you. Just talk about how hungry you are to stay healthy for a full year.
Man, it means a lot. I'm trying to go to the playoffs and win it all. Last year, it didn't really feel like we all wanted it. This year, it's not just me who's hungry. Everybody else is hungry. So I think we're going to succeed a lot more.
So, Coach, you take a look at your schedule. You have to go to Lakeside, to Arkadelphia, to Greenwood, and to Shiloh Christian. How do you prepare a team for 4 major road games, even though 2 of them are non-conference?
Yeah, one thing about our conference is we're down at the south part of the state, and everybody else is northwest Arkansas. I don't know how they drew the line, but they drew a line and put us way at the bottom. We have to travel, all the way to the top. But we feel like if we're going to be good, you have to win on the road in the playoffs. And so going to those type of fields and programs gives us opportunity to play against really good programs at their home field, which gives them an advantage, but gives us an opportunity to show people that we can be successful in where we want. And so I think we're not worried about that as much. We just want to get out there and play hard as we can. And I know our kids will compete at any level. We've been in this conference now for a while. We know what it takes to get there. We had a really good off season this year, and I know these guys play baseball, but these 2 here were an off season, and we tried to kill these guys this year. And I felt like they answered the question that, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes to be successful. And so they did the things they needed to do in off season, getting stronger and faster. Both these kids, their 40 time went way down based on their work ethic. And then these 2 here have been battling, through baseball and came in this summer and have really worked hard this summer to get stronger and faster. And in fact, the other day we're doing box jumps. And Landon, because he's in baseball all spring, would you jump 57 or 60 inch? He jumps 60 inches high on a box jump, and he never gets to do it because he's in baseball. And so he had opportunity to see that, some of the work he's been doing is actually paying off in the physical ability that he has this year.
And this is kind of a question for Hayden and Landon being baseball guys, but y'all can all get in on this. like we said, it didn't go last year how you guys wanted to, but you look at boys and girls basketball, Final Four. Baseball had the best season in, 30 years or whatever it was. Softball even had a really good year. So how does that translate? All that athletic success in the school, how does that translate over to the football field, just seeing what everybody else did following you guys?
I think it's our turn now because us being in baseball, just getting all those wins and just, like, feeling that energy, it just makes us even more hungry. And for these guys to experience the same thing, it's going to strive something bigger, and it's going to keep going on as we leave.
Last year was really the first year that everybody had really seen us lose. You know, we'd always gone to the playoffs, did really good. We had a lot of good players, and then we went 3-7, and so everybody was really just thinking that we're not going to be good, and that was our final. But that really, I feel, gives us energy and makes us want to play a lot more because we know that we can be good and we know that we can make it to the playoffs and have a run at it.
I say all the other sports being successful in our town and our school really shows people that there's hope and there's chance. And then I feel like our football team has that ability this year, and that if we do that, our town will really back us up again like they used to.
Yeah, and no doubt, that says a lot for the coaches we have at Lake Hamilton. I feel like most of the coaches there are really good at what they do, and so they give kids opportunities to be successful in any sport. And you can see we share a lot of kids and do a lot of things that, so, a lot of schools probably don't, ask for that, but we encourage kids to play as much as they can, that they can help other sports win. And so I think it's very valuable for them as they get older and having a chance to talk about how well they did in high school.
All right, guys. Really appreciate y'all coming.
Thanks, man.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. Hiking, swimming, chasing fireflies, and summer road trips. There's no better way to live your best life than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway.
It's a celebration.
It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like Tucson, Palisade, and the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's Best Warranty and Hyundai Assurance. This lineup is packed with the latest technology and IHS top safety picks. So what are you waiting on? Come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai, Museum Road in Conway.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com. WACC dealer for details.
Up next is Little Rock Christian Warriors, represented by Dustin Grimmett, head coach, and then Gray Earls, Ronnie Anoki, and Garland Davis. Coach, go ahead and take it away with the opening statement.
Yeah, so new head coach here following Coach Koyu, who left us in December. New head coach of the school, excited about taking over the reins at Little Rock Christian, excited about our team, excited about our kids. It's a time of change for us. We're moving up in classification. We have a new head coach, obviously. And it's a new team and a new year, but we're excited about the change. We're excited about playing 7A football, getting to play at the highest classification. Our guys aren't intimidated. We're ready to go, and we're excited about doing it. We've got a great group of guys coming up. We graduated a lot of seniors last year, but we got a lot of young talent a lot of guys that are going to be really good for us this season. Today, I brought with me today our linebacker Garland Davis, running back Ronnie Inoki, and then defensive end Gray Earls. And these guys are some of the leaders on our team, and they're going to be leading the way this year as we take on a new challenge.
And the first thing that you think of when a head coaching change happens is sometimes you have to come in, change the culture, all those things. Well, you guys already have a culture set, state championship culture, and you have been a part of this program for a while. I know you were at Arkadelphia, but you kind of had some history. So just talk about, I don't want to say the transition was easy, but how much easier did that make it just being familiar with the program and being here?
Yeah, so, for 5 years, I was there from 15 to 20. And 2 or 3 of those years was under Coach Koyu, and then went to Arkadelphia and came back for another 2 years. So I've been a part of his program. I've been a part of the culture that he's built there, and I've had a role in being able to build that culture. And so, I am stepping into a new role, but it's a very familiar role for me. And I know the kids, I know the school, and so that's really giving me a leg up as far as taking on the reins and doing. And taking this job over. So,
and Ronnie, I know you're really hungry after what happened last year. You had a great sophomore year. You were on pace for a good junior year, and unfortunately that happened against Russellville. So just kind of talk about how ready you are for this season individually.
Just leave it
there. It was unfortunate when it happened. I thought about it as I was sitting there going through the surgery, that if I got a chance to come back any sooner, how hungry I would be and how fast I could make the recovery. And so coming back through the process, going to training and getting the right treatment throughout all of it, it was a great process for me, and I have really embraced it. And I think it even made me more hungrier than I would have been had I may have stayed healthy and just had expected another good season. I think now it makes me probably twice as hungry to get back out there and seek after what's mine as far as my goals for the season.
This question to all three of you guys, a lot of big shoes to fill from all three of you guys. Ronnie, you're coming back. You're strong. Looks like you're ready to go. You guys are bringing in a new quarterback that's probably not going to be the type of quite a runner that Walker was, so probably going to lean on you a little more. Garland, same thing. You're going to have to step into some big shoes and have a bigger role to fill. Gray, you the same way. Just start with you, Garland. Let's talk about, expectations for you guys this year and bringing in those bigger roles that the team's going to lean on you guys more.
So our expectations for the season is to win state. Simple as that. It does take a lot more sacrifice than we did last year. Last year we had a great standard in 6A. We made it to state, but we didn't win. It made us more hungry. Now we're in 7A, the standard has increased significantly. So I'm really thankful for what we did in the offseason because Coach installed a new workout plan which made things more efficient, allowed us to gain weight, get stronger and faster, which I believe has been evident by the way we've been proving ourselves in the weight room and on the field. So as seniors right here, we have to lead because, by example, everybody's going to be looking at us so that we have to be on it 100% the entire time.
I believe us upcoming seniors are ready for the pressure of leading the team. We've definitely stepped up to the plate, and knowing that looking at the last season, we had a great senior class, and just follow back and represent. And I think we're ready to go lead and go to state this year.
And Coach, obviously the big thing is moving up to the 7A Central. It's kind of been the talk of the office. I mean, really, as soon as the season ended, and I know you guys, PA, the same way, you've embraced your championship programs and pretty much competing every year. So just kind of talk about the buy-in that you've seen from that. I know that we haven't seen, on the actual field and full game settings and stuff, but really just throughout the offseason, the buy-in that you guys have had moving up to the highest classification.
Yeah, so, we kind of knew that was coming, and so our kids kind of had their mind set already on that. And I think anytime you move up in classification, you move into a new conference, it gives an excitement of something new. And we're excited about competing in a new conference, competing against different teams and players and coaches. And we know it's going to be a challenge, and that's part of the reason why we've been motivated throughout the offseason to work. And so, our guys have taken that on well. They understand that the urgency has to step up for us and that we have a lot of work to do if we're going to compete at that level. Because it is going to be difficult, it is going to be challenging. But we know we're up to the task if we put the work in. So.
And as was mentioned, you're replacing a quarterback that's now at Auburn, but you got a lot of youngsters. We started 2 freshmen, I believe, was on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So you got them coming back. Tristan had a great year as well, wide receiver, and then of course Ronnie's coming back in a pretty deep backfield. So it's got to be a little bit easier, at least as far as to settle him in when you've got those pieces around.
Yeah, so we're really excited about Kim Keller taking over the reins at quarterback. He's had a great offseason, and he really had his mindset last year that. That this year was going to be his time, and he's known that, and he's worked towards that, and so we're excited about him taking over, and we're also excited about the pieces we have around him, because he's not going to have to do it by himself. There's 11 guys on offense, and all those guys are going to do a great job contributing, and we have some weapons. I feel like we're going to be able to throw the ball, run the ball, to be able to help him out, and it's not going to all just be on his shoulders as he takes over.
And Garland, I wanted to ask you, your brother had a great career here, and you're carving out one of your own. So I always like to ask, when brothers play with each other especially, what were maybe some things that you guys challenged each other growing up? I'm sure there was never any fights around the house.
Oh, man. You're actually right. There are actually no fights around the house. But it was fun playing alongside my brother. No, it was just last year. I wanted to get him a state championship, but we didn't get that. But I enjoyed the entire road. I didn't know I was going to be starting, but I'm thankful that I did get to play alongside with him, knowing that my brother's right next to me. We look the same, basically. But just knowing the kind of person he is, that his work ethic, I can resemble that and continue to work and be better.
For each one of you guys, what have you worked on over the summer that you can bring forward to this season?
To start it off, I think I've worked better with becoming a leader and being more vocal in helping underclassmen build confidence in themselves to help benefit our team by encouraging and just trying to set that example to even as a younger classman to sort of play a role as a older classman to just make us seem like just more like a more advanced team in setting an example for how our football program should work and how it should be.
And Coach, I'm just curious with, and I'm always careful when I say this, I don't mean that you only know one side of the ball, but being a defensive-minded head coach, what have been some challenges mainly as far as just having to oversee the entire operation and doing more stuff on the offense? I think you might have done that maybe some in junior high as well, but just kind of doing the whole thing now as opposed to one side of the ball.
Yeah, so most of my career has been on the defensive side of the ball. I have coached some offense out of necessity in the past, whether it be junior high or whatever. But I think the biggest thing for me is I have an offensive staff that I can trust to do a great job. I will have some insight on the offense and have some things that I would like to see, but I trust those guys at the end of the day. And so having great offensive coaches, having a great offensive coordinator, having a great passing game coordinator is going to allow me to do what I've always done and been able to be heavily involved in the defense because I can trust those guys to do a great job. So that's been great for me. I will say, it is a little bit of an eye-opener, in practice where a lot of times where I'm solely focused on the defense week in and week out is where I'm trying to see the whole picture. And that is something that I have to get used to. But I'm enjoying it so far, and like I said, I have a great staff to help me out.
All right, guys, we appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next we got the Central Arkansas Christian Mustangs, represented by head coach J.D. Plumley, Gus McConnell, Cooper Banks, and Reynolds and Sullivan. Coach, you want to go ahead and take it away with an opening statement?
Absolutely. First of all, thank y'all so much for doing the showcase in high school football, and a lot of teams coming here in 3 days. This is awesome. I hope this thing grows and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Anytime we can showcase these young men that put in much as hard work as they do, I'm all about it, all in. So thank y'all so much for doing this. CAC taking over. First of all, Malvern was great to me. Had a great time there for 5 years, but had an opportunity to come to CAC, and I felt this is where God was leading me. Been super, super accepted. These three young men that are up here with me right now are guys that are going to be the backbone, our captains of our team. Have played a lot of football, and we're going to lean on these guys to make a lot of plays for us both ways. And, we've worked really hard this spring, this summer. You blink and it's over. Here we are almost getting ready for fall camp. And we've got a lot of learning to do on both sides, new offense, new defense, a lot of turnovers, coaches as well. I was able to bring Coach Lance Parker with me to be my offensive coordinator. Brought in a new defense coordinator, Jordan Knight, which was with me at Malvern. And so a lot of new terminology, and these guys have accepted it with an open arms, and the community's excited, and we're excited to continue that rich tradition on Mustang Mountain, and we're ready to roll with it. And super excited for these three guys to be here with me today to kind of represent and want them to kind of fill you in on where we're at.
Well, addressing the elephant in the room, there's a lot of new faces, and there's a narrative out there, what's the AC going to do? This guy went here, this guy went there. But, you look within your program, there's probably a lot more belief than that. So just kind of talk about, I don't want to say that, a chip on their shoulder or whatever, but just as far as kind of being slept on, we'll call it that, that's probably got to be a little bit of an advantage to you guys.
It is, and we talked about it, guys. Y'all know this. This is where we're at in sports today. The transfer portal is live and well in Arkansas high school football, and no one's going to do anything about it. And so, you just got to learn to roll with it, and it is what it is. Y'all had a team in here earlier this morning that's like to rob a lot of other programs, and that's fine. We're going to coach with who we got, and when it all went down, the the guys that left, I wasn't ever able to see them with a helmet on. You know, they were in basketball, and we were able to go win the state championship in basketball. Then they went on to baseball or track, and in baseball we played in the state championship. And so, you know, we didn't have a spring football because all of our guys were doing that. And that's one thing I'm about. I'm not just a football coach. I'm a coach. You know, I'm going to be the assistant baseball coach at CAC. I'll coach junior high girls basketball if they'll let me. I'll do everything. I just want to coach young people and mold them. And so I'm super excited. These guys have rallied behind that because it is the next man up mentality, right? And you know, you got to take it in stride and roll. And we're going to be just fine. We're going to be young. We'll be a young football team, but that's fine. I want guys. If it's 25, if it's 60, if it's 90, I don't care. I want dudes that want to get after it every day, that want to believe in something bigger than the scoreboard. Because if we're chasing that scoreboard, it's going to leave you with an empty hole. I want to chase the process every day of getting up and be a better human. And if we can get that instilled in our young men, one player at a time, then we're making the world a better place, you know. And I've been blessed to win too. You know, when you walk off the field there at Warmore and you've won it, you get home that night and you wake up, you know what? I still had to go to church the next morning. I still had to be a dad. I had duty Monday morning, okay? It didn't change anything about my job. And so I'm not chasing those things. Do I want to win? Am I competitive? You guys that have seen me coach, absolutely. These guys know when I'm on the sideline, I'm a different animal. But I'm not chasing that. I'm chasing the daily process of getting up and being as best I can be. And that's our culture. That's what we're preaching right now at CAC, and these guys are going to rally behind it, and I'm excited. And, you know, what you said about the chip on the shoulder, yeah. You know, I mean, when someone wants to leave you that was a leading, you know, captain on the field last year that wants to lead you and leave these guys behind, absolutely, it's going to be a little chip on your shoulder, you know, and so that's what makes it fun and competitive. But at the end of the day, it's high school football. It's not life or death. And we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to get after some folks, and I'm excited to watch these guys. We're going to our team camp, last team camp tomorrow night at Sheridan, and you know, then I'm fired up for the benefit game, and let's get the season rolling, and so super excited.
Coach, you said you wanted some dudes. You wanted some dudes to get out there to play, to get after it. Tell us about those dudes, because you know the state, we don't really know. We know what you lost, but we don't know about those dudes. You know, technically, you're coming in, so you didn't lose them, but you have your dudes now. So tell us about those dudes you're going to be relying on.
Absolutely. Well, one of them right here, Reynolds Sullivan. You know, he's a running back that's played a lot of football, a 2-year starter. You know, we're going to use him a lot more on defense as a DB. He's going to be our kick returners. You know, he's not – I'll be calling timeouts to give him a drink, you know, and so he's a dude for us. Cooper Banks right here that's kind of moved positions. He'll be a 20 linebacker for us, turn around, be our hybrid fullback that we use in our 21 and 20 personnel. He's got, you know, he's going to show everybody what kind of hands he has. He can really catch the ball out in space, and obviously his size, you know, he's getting looked at from some D2 schools here in the state about, you know, playing linebacker. He can really run, and so he's going to help us. And then Gus McConnell, all three of these guys have played multiple games in high school, so they're not new to the game. They're just maybe changing positions, but Gus will continue playing outside linebacker, and then he's going to turn around and help take some carries off of Reynoldson's plate in the backfield. You'll see Gus throw the ball a little bit. You know, and then it starts with Connor Taylor, you know, a sophomore quarterback. He really hadn't played quarterback since his 8th grade year. So, you know, Connor Taylor's the next man up, and we're going to grow together, and we're going to coach him. And you know, there's going to be times he's going to look like a all-state quarterback, and there's going to be times he's going to struggle a little bit, but that's what you expect out of a sophomore in the 4A league, and so we're excited about him. We've got Jackson Allen, our big left tackle, that's back. They moved him up last year as a freshman. He's back just a sophomore, but you know, when you look at him, you'd think he's 18 years old, and he's not. He's not even driving yet. You know, we've got Aaron Cook back at center. He was been the center the last 2 years, so we have some returners in key spots. It's just kind of getting who the ball is going to be getting to is going to be a little bit different. Okay, Jason Hunt that was supposed to be here today, he couldn't. He didn't play last year, but he's back out. He's had a phenomenal spring and summer with us. You know, then you've got Hudson Ritchie. He's returning. But now, instead of being the third target, you know, now Hudson's stepping up and having to be our go-to guy. You've got Brody Vantelberg that transferred in from Arkadelphia. They moved to Little Rock. You know, he's another receiver that's going to step in back there, so he's new to the program. So a lot of returners that may not been the marquee guy last year having to step up and be the guy. And they've welcomed it. They love the challenge. And, you know, when you look at summer attendance, man, we're there. I don't have to worry about these guys. They're there. They're waiting on us to get there, and they're ready. They've accepted the challenge.
And under Coach Howard, saw a lot of spread them out, running some zone with Ren, and then like you said, you like to utilize, you know, like a hybrid fullback. Of course, last year you had a 6,000+ career yard rusher at Malvern, so obviously you ran it a lot. So just kind of talk about some of the changes that we might see in the offense this year.
Yeah, you know, I think our offense is, you know, what is the spread nowadays?
Right.
You know, and so we use that. You know, 21 personnel, we're going to see that. We're going to utilize the tight end. We're going to be unbalanced. You know, we're not scared to put 3 tight ends. You saw that at Malvern some to the boundary. You know, we're gonna find ways to exploit the weakness of the defense, and then we're coaching our guys where are the holes in the defense and the schematics of their defense, and then pick our mismatches. You know, Reynolds, you're gonna see him back here just like Jalen. He's gonna be direct snapping and we're gonna be going, and Gus is gonna be back there direct snapping and going, and he's gonna catch it and throw it. You know, so we have quarterbacks. You know, what is a quarterback? You know, do you have to catch and throw it? You catch and run it? Can you do both? You know, so we try to kind of nullify the identification of I'm this fullback, I'm that. You know, the way we practice it, we've got, you know, Cooper Banks is going to be catching direct snaps. That's just kind of how we practice it. So we're kind of bulletproof in that. You know, if Renson has to come out and get a drink, we're fine. We just slide a guy over. But we will utilize the tight ends. We're going to condense our offense formations to try to get one-on-one matchups to Hudson Ritchie and Jason Hunt and those guys out on the edge. But then we can still be in 21 and empty it out, you know, and see what we do and then where the ball needs to go. So, you know, we've really tried to evolve that over the years of schematically of how many surfaces can we build and how you're going to adjust to it defensively. Then obviously having answers. You know, football is a game of answers. And we're trying to instill that in our guys when we come off the sideline of you know, what's our answer next. And so we take pride in that. But that's a great question because it's always changing.
Reynolds, tell us a little bit about your role. You know, you're going from the second, third, fourth, fifth option. Now it sounds like you're going to be the first option a whole lot. And it sounds like with Coach Plumlee, it's almost like positionless basketball, that you're going to be traditional running back, you're going to be catching the ball out of the backfield, you're going to be taking direct snap. Who knows, you may even throw it down the field a little bit. Tell us about how you've been preparing differently in the offseason and this summer for, you know, new coach, a little bit of a new offense this fall.
Well, I mean, ever since we've been young growing up, we've been doing it all. I mean, my ninth grade year, I was a receiver. Our coaches have always put us in different positions and gotten us to do different things. So, I mean, ever since we got moved up, like a bunch of us ninth grade year got moved up due to not filling all of positions. And we've been asked a lot of, like, I was put on defense as a freshman, well, as a ninth grader. And like Gus and Cooper, we've all been asked more of us. So I think it's definitely gotten us prepared for now.
And I wanted to ask about the defensive side of the ball. That was a struggle last year. It was around, 50 points a game that was surrendered. Now, I know some of that was due to depth concerns and stuff like that, but how has that side of the ball come on?
It's coming on really well. We're going to switch to an odd front, be a 3-4. I think a lot of that is a philosophy deal. We're going to have a lot of guys going both ways. Maybe that's the old school in me. 22 years into it, I don't have to play super fast on offense. So if I have to, I can control the tempo on offense. To give my defense an opportunity to have a chance, and so we'll be two-way players. Like I said, I joke about this all the time, but I think y'all that have really watched this, we'll be flowing in the middle of a drive, and I'm going to call a timeout just to give the guys a drink, that they're out there all the time. So a lot of that's a philosophy change, but yes, we're going to take pride in our defense. It's scary to live on. When you walk out there on Friday nights thinking you got to score, 7 touchdowns to stay in the game, that's an eerie feeling and I'm an offensive-minded head coach, so I want to get back to the days of, hey, if I can dial up 5, we're going to be in a good spot, but the game has changed. But I think a lot of it too is when you're going super, super fast and trying to snap it 85 times on offense, well, you're killing your defense if they're not getting a break or getting something, being able to fix something on the sideline or do something like that. So we'll control the tempo offensively, and we're going to take pride, and we're really working on our defense and changing, I guess, to two, the culture defensively, where we want to take pride in getting stops and getting off the field.
Coming into CAC, I mean, it's obviously not your first program to take over and kind of maybe not fully rebuild with the success they had last year and the year before that, but how does kind of this program and this new job compare to Malvern or Fountain Lake or any of the other programs you've had to kind of change over a little bit?
Yeah, I think each job has its own, identity, right? So, this was a family move. Like I said, we prayed about it, and we're super excited. The opportunity was there, and we come in. It wasn't a rebuild because they had so much success last year, and there's so much rich tradition there, and the first thing I did in the locker room was I went and got the state championship team and put the big picture back up in the locker room so everybody can see it, the tradition. And so, and then going having lunch with alumni and picking their brains on what they loved about Mustang Mountain. I did the same thing at Malvern. When I took over there, they were 0-10. Well, the first guy I went and had lunch with was Coach Alpy. He's a legend there, right? I wanted to pick his brain and see what I need to do and what I don't need to do. And so learn from those guys, because it's never about me. It's never been about me. I'm not this big ego guy. I want to stand in line like everybody else, and I want to wait my turn, but it's never been about me. And this job is the same. It's never going to be about me. It's about CAC, the tradition there, and it's about I'm humbled and blessed to be a part of a program. And I don't want my name out in front. I want these guys. It's about them. It's about the players that come through there and the experience they have. I want these guys, when they're 40, 45 years old with a wife and 2 kids, to come back and enjoy their time back. And I want to be a part of these guys. So, like I said, that's why I'm not chasing stuff anymore. It's about the relationships, but each job is different, and that's why I love being a coach. Every day is going to bring new challenges, and you have to adjust and keep going. And so, like I said, it's not a rebuild. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a transition, but that's in every job, and we're excited about the future.
All right, and I'll finish it up with two. We'll talk about. I know that probably one of the gaping holes was losing the quarterback he did just because of the status, but you got a sophomore coming in now. So talk about his development, and then we'll finish it off by having the players just kind of talk about some individual and team goals for them this year.
Yeah, Connor Taylor's been great. I mean, the moment I got the phone call, I called him that night and said, "Hey, you're up." He's like, "Coach, I already knew." And so. The thing about it is how we're building our offense is he's got Cooper Banks, that hybrid in front of him, that is protecting him. And if the game gets too fast for him, we can slide him out of the way and direct snap it to a guy that's been there for 3 years. A guy that's been there for 3 years, and the moment's not going to get too big for these guys because he is a sophomore, and that's tough. That's a huge jump from not playing quarterback last year, not getting any reps at all last year, not even in junior high or anything, to now, hey. You're QB1 on senior high. So he is coming a long, long ways. Lance Parker is one of the best quarterback developers, obviously playing at a high level like he did. And we're not going to do or design an offense around something he can't do. So we're really talking to him daily on, hey, do you feel comfortable doing this? And if he says, Coach, no, then guess what? We put a red line through it, And so we're going to cater it to him and what's comfortable for him. But having these guys around that we can direct snap to and get the ball to them and let him take some pressure off him is going to be how we'll handle and manage the season.
And guys, if you just want to say just a couple of individual and team goals real quick to wrap it up.
All right, Gus, you want to start first?
I think we have a lot of potential, and I think we could do a lot if we put our mind to it. And the guys, I'm getting close with the guys, just better and better every day. And I have a lot of confidence we can do something special this year.
Cooper?
Coach Plumlee touched on it earlier. We're a pretty young team, and so being able to get to know a lot of the freshmen, a lot of the incoming sophomores, I think has made a really big difference. Everyone's just getting to know each other. Everyone's having fun. And I think that's going to really help us put ourselves in the best position to be successful this year.
Obviously, it's no secret that we've lost a lot of people. I mean, y'all touched up on it. But I really think the guys that we have at CAC is enough. I think we can squeeze every single drop out of what we have. And the past few years, the leadership on the CAC team has been off and on. But I think this year, as us being the seniors, we really have an opportunity to change the culture and to go in a direction that will last. So.
All right, guys, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
All right, up next is the Southside Southerners, and they are represented by head coach Kenny Simpson, Andrew Plummer, Lewis Calhoun, and Cameron Forey. Coach, go ahead and take it away with the opening statement.
Yeah, we're excited you guys have us here, and excited to bring these kids to show off our school. We got three great representations of our team. Had a great year last year. These guys have worked really hard. These guys have been with our program all the way from 7th grade to now. So I think in the year of the transfer portal, these guys are showing that loyalty and dedication, and they've been around through the hard times, and then now they're around through the good times. And so we're excited to be here. It's an honor to be here. Andrew Plummer to my left is a senior All-State linebacker. He's returning. Led the state in tackles, so he's a pretty special player. Lewis Calhoun over here is kind of Mr. Do-It-Everything. He's played on defense, offense. He runs the ball. He can catch the ball. And just does anything we need for our team. And I think pound for pound might be one of the toughest players I've ever coached. And over there's Cam Forey, another kind of multiple player. He can play defense. He's played about 4 spots for us on defense. He can play quarterback if we need him to. He can play receiver. He can play running back. And so on top of all of that, these guys are great student athletes, and they're great kids that are good examples for our community.
And Coach, you and I have talked a good bit about your offense. I love the uniqueness of it, the gun tee. So kind of explain to people who might be watching just what that's about, just because you don't see it very much.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's becoming a little more popular, but it's basically an offense where we're using the run game from the wing tee, which has been around for 80 years, using angles and down blocks. As you can see, we've got really talented players up here, but we don't have a ton of size. So it allows smaller, quicker players to be successful. And then the fact that we're in the shotgun allows us to run a lot of the RPO game that people might be more familiar with, where we now have the passing game of the spread offense and the run game of the wing tee. We feel it's kind of a blend of the best of two worlds, but the reality is it became real successful when I have guys like this that run it. You know, the players are who make it work.
Well, I'll go ahead and ask the players. I mean, these are very familiar names that we see up here. I mean, I think I've written about you guys probably for the last 2 years at least. But just talk about, going into the season, like you said, Andrew, you led the state in tackles. I mean, I think all of y'all put up pretty great stats. But just also having a successful season last year. You guys made a great run, had that walk-off field goal against Joe T. Robinson in the playoffs. So just talk about building off of that and then keeping improving this year.
So our whole defense is coming back. We only lost 2 players off our defense. And I think we're real physical, and we got the guys to go pretty far this year.
I feel like our offense last year, we lost our quarterback Savion Hall. He was an awesome player. We lost our running back. We lost a lot of really good O linemen, And I feel like this year we got a lot of new faces and a lot of new spots to fill, and I feel like we've got the people to do it, and I think it'll be pretty good this year.
Yeah, we got a lot of new transfers, and they're all making their spots on defense and offense and filling in the holes that we had, and they're doing pretty good, so yeah.
Speaking of those, kind of talk about some of the new guys that you have come out. I know Owen McLaughlin's a big one that you guys added, so just some of the new additions that we'll see this year.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, we've got more kids on our roster than we've ever had. We have 58 kids on our roster. Last year we had 45, and I think that speaks to the team that was before. You know, there's a lot of excitement around our program right now. It's not because of me, it's because of our players and their success, and people want to be on a part of something that's special. We have 6 kids that came over this year, I think maybe 7, that have come over from different schools that just want to be a part of what we're doing. Owen, you mentioned McLaughlin. It's been great to see him blend in. You know, with him and Lewis running the ball, we feel like we've got a pretty good little 1-2 combo there. And we've had several others come over as well. Drayden Holsey came over from Riverview. I think he played quarterback over there. What's been neat to see these kids that are coming to us is that they're willing to accept whatever role we have. You know, a lot of times when you see kids come into one place, there's expectations, there's we want this, and there's kind of selfish motives. The ones that I've seen, and the kids can attest to that, I feel like they just want to be a part of our team. And the team goals have been number one for us. And whether it's, if Andrew has 20 tackles or 0, I think he just wants to win. And if Lewis has 4 touchdowns running or 0, he just wants to win. Same thing with Cameron, whatever he's got to do to help us win. And I think those kids have bought into that. So it's been really neat. You know, we have, I think, 8 so far that are new to our program. And then, of course, we've got 50 that have come back. And the way they've already started to blend into a family has been really good.
Coach, everybody knows the one game you guys have circled on your schedule, but talk about the schedule as a whole. You know, lots of games Northeast Arkansas in the conference. So just talk about the schedule as a whole, the expectations for you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a different kind of mindset for us. You know, we were 5A for 2 years, and I don't think a lot of media people really wanted to talk to us until the season was over, and that's just to be expected. You know, we're kind of the underdogs, and this year it kind of reverses. I think there are expectations. We have high expectations. Our community has high expectations, and so when that happens, you know that every game you're going to get the best of the teams you're going to play. We're new to this conference. We've played Pocahontas. We have a lot of respect for them. I believe they have a winning record against us in the history of the 2 schools, so there's a lot of respect we have for them. Highland, we've seen them this summer. I think they're a top 10 team in the state, so we have a lot of respect for them as well. You got Blytheville. You've got Gosnell, who always have traditionally great athletes. Truman, super physical. I've got a lot of respect for Cave City. Danny and I are friends. I think he does a good job there. And then you've got Westside. We were able to see Westside a little bit this summer, so we've got a lot of respect for these teams in this conference. I think a lot of people have expectations because we dropped from 5A to 4A. They still play pretty good football in 4A last time we checked, and so we're expecting to see the best. And you mentioned in our non-conference, we're playing Forest City. I don't know if that's the game you were talking about having circled or not. I say that kind of tongue-in-cheek, but Forest City's a big game for us. It's a rivalry game. That's the game we're looking at. And obviously, when you play games that involve trophies with Batesville, that will always be a big game simply because these guys hang out with those guys. You get bragging rights for a year. Doesn't matter in conference anymore, but it sure is nice to have that for the year.
And Lewis, wanted to ask you, so you guys, forgive me if I missed one. I know obviously Savion at quarterback, Gabe Witt was a great one that came in, and you graduated him. So talk a little bit about the backfield from your just from your experiences throughout the offseason and how that could look.
Throughout the offseason, so you know, I've grown up running the ball, and this year it's going to have like a little different look. We're running. Coach Simpson, he's made some new things for me, like running. I'll go to A, run motions, you know, like Seth Case used to do last year. And I feel like I'm taking kind of his role this year to get me open more and like catching the ball in the open field and not just only being in the backfield, but being able to be as a receiver and catch the ball and run with it.
And we feel like we've got a 3-headed monster. I'll kind of help. And Lewis has been embracing whatever we have, and you got Owen McLaughlin, who you mentioned. Cameron can run the ball. This guy actually runs the ball pretty well. Then you've got our wings, Jackson Womack and Braden Simpson. So we feel like, and then Trey Allen is our new quarterback. You've got 6 or 7 guys that can touch it. What's really cool is these guys are so unselfish about it. They just want to win.
And talking about those rivalries, obviously Reggie Swinton comes in, former NFL player. There's a lot of hype there, and he's got looks like some pretty good talent. And last year Forest City, they were more, I would say, probably not really lacking talent. It was just, there was just some things that struggled. But you got that game, like you said, you guys have the Batesville game, 2 great rivalries in that area. So to the players, how much do those type of games drive you guys?
The Batesville game is intense. Like you said, we've grown up with people from Batesville. His cousin he's a corner for Batesville, so it's always we're always hanging out, going to the river together, and then we go into a football game, and it's just we're not friends, So then after the game, you get all the bragging rights, and it's awesome,
And that's the only game every year for the Batesville game that all the fans will want to come watch it just because it's so big and everybody wants to just see it. So.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a great game. They got some new kids this year. They're going to be pretty solid, but I think we got it this year.
I don't know if we touched a ton on defense. Let's just talk about that side of the ball. I know, like you said, I think it was 7 or 8. No, you guys started last year, and then had a great run. So just kind of talk about the returners that you have on that side of the ball, and just some ones to watch for there.
Yeah, absolutely. The 3 guys that are in here, Andrew. In my mind, we have one of the best linebacking cores, 2 through 7A. I don't care what level. Andrew's a solid ball player. We returned Lewis and Cameron. They were both all conference. Basically can play DB, kind of hybrid type guys. We returned Jackson Womack, who I think is one of the best defensive linemen in the state. We were able to add Dylan McDougal. He actually was with us for all off season. He's had a really good run on the D-line, so you bring all them back. We added Leighton Neal. He's another one that came to us in a transfer, and he's looked really good. DB-wise, we only returned Braden Simpson. I think he had 120 tackles, so he's done really well back there. But we added Drayden Holsey from Riverview. He's looked good back there as well. Blaine Baxter is another transfer who's come over and done really well for us. We returned Caden Rowlett as well. And then, of course, Trey Allen, we won't let him play defense until it's probably third downs or playoff or high conference games. He might be the best DB on our roster, and he's only going to be out there kind of in special situations. So feel very, very confident with this group. Undersized, but, man, they get after it. I think no pressure. But the only guy in our defense that runs over a 4.9 is this one, but he plays at about a 4.5. So we got a lot of speed over there, a lot of physicality over there, sometimes too much. We got to calm them down, but we're very excited about that side of the ball.
Coach, there's been a lot of talk today about transfers and multiple schools, getting new guys, losing guys. How much, seems like it's happening more and more each year, how much is that changing the game, and how much is that part of your thought process as a coach these days?
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. It is what it is. And so people can come here and be upset about it, or they can come here and be really excited about it. But the reality is these kids have a choice where they want to go. And you want to have a program that embraces kids and puts kids first. And I think if you do that, then you're going to have kids want to be part of your program. I think if you've got kids that have grown up in your program and they transfer out, instead of being upset about that, you need to look within and say, what are we doing wrong that kids are wanting to leave? And I think that's kind of the mindset as a coach that I have. And ultimately, it's for the kids. We are here to serve them. And I think if you have that mindset, it goes well. I do think you have to be really cognizant of, we added 8 kids. That can shift a culture like that. I think Maumelle added 9,000 of them. How many of you add? You add a bunch of kids as a coach, how are you going to keep the core values? So these guys have done a great job of embracing those new kids and teaching them, hey, we're glad you're here, but here's what we're about. And if you don't want to be about this, you probably don't want to be here. And I think that's how you have to kind of function as a program.
All righty, guys. We appreciate y'all coming.
Thank you.
Take care.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. Hiking, swimming, chasing fireflies, and summer road trips. There's no better way to live your best life than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway.
It's a celebration.
It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like Tucson, Palisade, and the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's Best Warranty and Hyundai Assurance. This lineup is packed with the latest technology and IHS top safety picks. So what are you waiting on? Come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai, Museum Road in Conway.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com. WACC dealer for details.
All right, up next are the Malvern Leopards, represented by head coach John Fogelman and also Jonathan Woodson, Ben Rock, Quentin Cooper, and Osiel Martinez. And Coach Fogelman, if you want to go ahead and give an opening statement, we'll get this thing rolling.
All right, as he said, I brought with us, we got a mixture here. Osiel Martinez, who plays some wide receiver, but he's outstanding kicker, so we're excited about our special teams with him. We got offensive lineman Quentin Cooper, returning starter, as well as Jonathan Woodson and Ben Rock, who plays a linebacker for us on defense. These are 4 seniors out of our class that the coaches have felt. Since I've been there, they've been outstanding leaders in the weight room and on the field. Been real receptive to new stuff, and so these guys were the leaders of the senior class, and as we head forward into the fall.
Well, this is your second stint at Malvern, and excluding the 2022 state championship under your leadership, they got to the highest level other than since Coach Alpe had taken them there. So now that you're back, obviously it's a totally different time in high school football. So what has this second stint been like for you the last few months?
Yeah, lots of things changed in 11 years. That's right. So they've had an outstanding group. Coach Plumley did a great job in the recent years, and these guys. Hopefully they've embraced what they saw before them, but they got to understand now that those guys are gone. It's their time now, and as the seniors have kind of embraced this, as we've taken on our theme is maybe not so much expected, because a lot of experiences graduated last year, some great players, but our theme's been to prove them wrong. We're not going to want to rebuild and wait for next year. These guys deserve to go out on top as well.
And obviously, Lost State graduated a big-time running back that's now at Colorado State, over 6,000 yards. I know obviously he didn't play for you, but talk about the backfield a little bit and just kind of some things that we'll see offensively.
Well, we'll be wanting to run the ball as well. I know that the last couple of years, Dupree, who did was a great running back. we'll just have to do it a different way, a different style. We've got an exceptional running back, we feel, in Tavion Clegg, and some guys playing in the secondary that can move over and run the ball if needed. But I don't care what you do. I feel like you still have to run the football. We just may not be able to run it. May not have the big backs that we've had, but Clegg's smaller, but he's extremely fast. So we'll do that. We do have an experienced quarterback coming back, Bishop Allen. We've done well in some 7-on-7s this summer. From the first one we did to the last one, there's just a huge improvement. So we'll probably be just a little more balanced, but we'll still be running the football.
To hit on that a little more, Coach, it's pretty telling that two of the guys you brought to your left and the right are your linemen. So you said you're going to just have a little style, so it sounds like maybe a little more backfield by committee. So talk about your offensive line and what you're going to hang your hat on, and about that backfield by committee.
All right. So we will adapt. I'd be stupid if we didn't do some things, because probably that's the most experience we've got on the offensive side of the football is the offensive lineman. So we want to do some things that they've done in the past. It may not be the same terminology and stuff, and it may be the same looks out of the same formations, but we'll do some things that they're used to give them a chance, and then add to that. So, but you're right. Yes, it will be more running backs by committee, with Clegg leading the way. But you got to have more than one. Share the ball to more receivers. That's just an extension of the running game when you got a quick passing game and a quarterback that's capable of doing that.
Coach, you guys play in one of the toughest conferences, not only in 4A, but I think probably the state. What are you going to be looking for in non-conference to get ready for that toll in conference play?
Well, our non-conference, we're going to open up with Jacksonville, who I've been seeing, in the last couple of years at Catholic now, just steadily watching them get better every year. So our opening opponent, we'll have a test. They're extremely athletic, and they're doing a good job there. Then obviously Glen Rose, which is however you want to look at that, you can throw records and years and talent and everything else out the window when it comes to a rivalry game. And then obviously the third one, non-conference game, get us ready for this is Stuttgart. The Riceburgs, Coach Price, they've got a really good team. So I think our non-conference schedule is set up to help us in the rugged 7-4A.
And to the players, last year, obviously, in the playoffs, had the rematch, as they said, of the 2022 state championship, and obviously didn't go your way against Harding Academy. So, what kind of driving force has that been as far as a motivating factor for you guys throughout the off season?
I mean, for sure. I think we all thought if we were able to get past them, there was no chance we weren't getting another ring. So when you lose the way we did, it's kind of a stab in the chest. So I think everybody's ready to come back and make another run at it, and we know we can. So.
Yeah, that loss it really just motivated me to get better over this summer. So yeah.
In that game, I remember that they had a good kicker as well. And after that game, I talked to him, and it really motivated me to keep working on myself. And I really wish and hope to go make it to college for football as well. And I learned how to finally kick off the ground, not using a block for field goals. And my farthest right now, it's around 52, 55. And I just hope that my leg could probably help us out a lot on the field and to score more points.
Just their team in general in that game, it's helping me motivate just to better myself, just to get out there on the field, make a new thing and all that, just to prove that I can do better with myself and all.
Osceola, we hadn't talked any special teams today. Let's do that a little bit now. So, as a kicker, I think that sometimes that we forget about how important a missed extra point can be, or how important a touchback is on a kickoff. So, just kind of talk about the pride that you take in special teams.
Well, My pride, I'm very proud of myself, how much I've came along, because I didn't have that many people push me, but my mom, she's, ever since I played football, she actually didn't want me to play football, but it is something that I wanted to do ever since. And my freshman year, I wasn't the best kicker at all, but I tried so hard until where I got now. So yes, it's a big step for me to look back at what I've done, and I take pride in that, and it's a joy that I have for myself.
I'll put the players on the spot again. Just talk about some first year under Coach Fogelman, just some team goals and individual goals that you have for yourself.
Well, as far as a team standpoint, I think there's really no point in wanting to do anything other than win another championship. I mean, we may be overlooked a little bit this season just because of how many people we lost, but I mean, everyone's clicking. I mean, we will win. We will win games.
Really, to me, the team goal I think we should have is like just to win, go out and compete, have fun, and yeah, just try to have a great season.
I think that we should get a better connection with our teammates, have a strong brotherhood, and that's something that we could not just carry on the field. We'll carry in the classroom, and then even after high school, we just want a good connection with our teammates and have a good brotherhood.
With all these guys said, we need to prove that we could better all of us, like as a team, not just an individual, just in a team. We need to have that like relationship with each other.
All right, guys, we appreciate y'all coming.
All right, thank you.
Summer is here, so it's time to get out and experience the natural state. And there's no better way than in a new Hyundai from Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway. It's always a party with people celebrating the great deals and stylish lineup of SUVs like the all-new Santa Fe. Plus, you get America's best warranty and Hyundai Assurance. So come join the party at Chris Crane Hyundai.
Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months or up to $4,000 bonus cash on a great lineup of new Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway.
Some people appreciate the experience of living, the craftsmanship and sheer satisfaction of being exceptional. The Genesis Concierge makes finding your perfect vehicle effortless, like the Genesis GV80 with a standard 27-inch OLED navigation system, or the G90 with seat massage for ultimate comfort. When you're ready to experience what life offers, you're ready for Genesis. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
A properly graded field is not only important for player safety, but also the field's health, and no company in the state matches the exceptional service and dedication like our friends at Athletic Field Service of Arkansas in Sherwood. From servicing all types of natural grass athletic fields that includes aerating, top dressing, and phrase mowing to a variety of residential projects, Jeremy Rice and his crew have you covered. They also offer an extensive list of infield renovation services. Call Jeremy at 501-416-1218. That's 501-416-1218 for your free evaluation, and check them out on Facebook or see what they have to offer online by visiting afsofar.com. Athletic Field Service of Arkansas, we got the dirt on your infield.
Go. All right, that will conclude session one of Big Miller Football Media Days. We're going to take a quick 30-minute lunch break and fill our bellies, and then we will be back at 12:30. We'll see you then.